All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 6 of Stirring the Podcast. I'm your host, Bobo. We've been taking a little bit of a break while I was figuring out some life type shit and some projects in life, and we're here with a good friend of mine, an old boss, Chef Edgar. He is a chef. He is originally from Puerto Rico, and he's also worked all over the country. So we're going to have a really cool episode about food, maybe talk about some sports, talk about a lot of random shit. It's going to be a good episode.
Let's go, Bobo. Thank you for having me here, man.
Absolutely. How you been?
All good, man. Working a lot. Probably for the first time in 22 years, I'm not running a restaurant right now. I'm actually consulting people.
What do you like for food?
Yeah, businesses. Like if you want to open a restaurant or whatever that is related to a company that produce food or business, that's what I'm doing right now, and it's
Cool.
going pretty good. Like it just gave me that time to work in some future projects that I want to open, like tired to make the other guy rich, and so now I'm doing my own thing and have 3 different concepts of opening my own stuff, but slowly,
Cool.
hopefully get there eventually.
Absolutely. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work to get up there, but it seems like you're in a good position to succeed.
Yeah.
That's way cool. What else are you doing these days?
Like my daughter have this YouTube channel, so I'm just like learning how to work the YouTube, like open her channel. She wanted to be a YouTuber, I think, for the past 3 years. She's only 8, and she's been asking, she's 5, I want to be a YouTuber. And I was like, well, I guess I make it.
Yeah.
Start like a COVID project. I was like, I'm bored. What can I do? So I started doing it, and then I like it. So
Right.
That's what we've been doing. That and just open one of those meal places that you go and you get your own meals
Okay.
in Madison, and I just consult that business, and we opened up about 1 month ago, and he's like
Like a family meal type place, like you go there and like they cook you enough stuff for your whole family or something.
you got family meals, so you got what they call quick bites. It's like like 1 person serving size,
Okay.
and you basically plan your whole week, and you go and buy food for the whole week, take it home, and it's at the beginning it was supposed to be like a healthy spot,
Sure.
but I figured it out that like that was my first thing that I talked to them. I was like, just make it healthier, because like you don't want to shoot your own leg at the beginning. Like if you go 100% super healthy, like all this keto trend and stuff. Yeah, it sounds cool.
But you eliminate like half of the clientele of South
Pro-
Dakota.
pro- pro- and probably more. Like I was like, well, out of the bat, you're gonna start with a 30% people in town that will buy your food, and if you're lucky, you probably will keep 10. So now you have to make a business with 700 people.
Right.
So it's gonna be tough. So we focusing on making like the food that people like, but in a healthier way.
Sure.
But still you pasta bakes and you barbecues and everything that people really like.
Yeah.
You have to give people what they like. At the beginning, like a big mistake that we all do. Like I don't know nobody that work in the kitchens that we get that ego and we go like, man, this person don't know how to eat. Like, you better eat a shoe if you're gonna eat that steak well done, or this or that. And you get to a point that they're paying for it.
Absolutely.
And if they like a well done steak, so be it. So make sure your job as a chef and as a person that loves food, your job is to make a burnt steak, but the best burnt steak this person ever gonna eat.
Absolutely.
And that's when you're gonna become, I think, the highest of your culinary aspect. Like you're here for people, not for you.
Yeah.
Like you cook your own food at home, but like when people are buying your food, you have to give them what they want, but just do it right.
Yes. That's why I'm still cooking food, mainly because I just like to give people good food. And it's funny how often anymore that people can't even just go to a restaurant and get things right. I don't really offer like too much stuff. Like our menu is completely different now. We got a whole breakfast menu with like crab cakes and like lobster toast,
Yeah.
items and stuff on it. But I mean, like It still has like some of the basic things and stuff, but I mean, I just do everything as good as I can and try and make things right, and that seems to make people happier than anything.
Yeah, like people, and like in this business, like there's a lot of doors that could open that could get you to treat people the wrong way. Like first of all, like I think in 20 something years that I've been doing this, I have never called my clients clients. They're my guests.
Sure.
Like there's so many options out there, and they're choosing to come to you. So why will you be an asshole? I mean, like you don't know what you want. I know what you want. I'm the chef. Like no, like they know what they want. So just make sure you do it right and give it to them. And if you could educate them while you're doing it, yeah, go ahead. But you don't have to force people to eat your likes or what you want them to eat, because at the end they're paying for you. And it's an opportunity that they give us, and most of the people that do this because they love it. Like for me, I went to school for so many years of everything that have nothing to do with this. But while I was going to school, that's what I was in restaurants, and by the time that I finished my master degree and everything, I was already an executive chef, and I decided this is what I like. Like I just love that second when people bite your food and their face go like, like that's worth it. It doesn't matter if you've been prepping for 10 hours, just that second right there is like, oh, gotcha.
Absolutely.
And that's
means you did your job right.
Yeah, and that's about it. Like I just love that split of second. It's just my favorite thing of the whole day.
Very cool. That is way awesome. One thing about food that I've always found to be pretty cool too is like when you put a bunch of random stuff together and something cool comes out of it.
I think that's my forte. Like I think that I flow around the best when I get to a spot and they go like, this is what we got. Like, what can you do?
Right.
Like, and I've been in quite a couple of situations like that. Actually, when I moved to South Dakota, before South Dakota, I was in Texas, and I was like jumping around city to city, and I was kind of like, I was living the real kitchen nightmare. Like, like in TV, they show you these kitchen nightmares, but everything's kind of like planned out. And it's just a show. But my job, it was legit that, like, hey, Edgar, we need you to go to Corpus Christi. This restaurant's not doing good. Go and figure out why. And it was pretty good. And, at the beginning, the family was all about it. But when you're moving like every 10 months, 11 months, then start getting boring.
Right.
Eventually, for them, they don't get to cultivate and create friends because it ain't worth it. We're moving around again. And I promised them, like, oh, let's go to South Dakota. That's where your family is from. Like, maybe we could go there, stay there for a couple of years, and a couple of years has become to like almost 6 years. So it is what it is. But Dakota State University, they approached me, and I came to my interview, and it was like a pretty cool interview. Like, they saw my paper, so oh yeah, you look good in paper. Can you cook? I was like, well, I don't know, like, you have to fly me there and see if I could cook. And they fly me here, and it was during the summer, so the university was closed, and they have a couple random stuff on the pantry, on the coolers and stuff. I got there, and they told me like, well, you got 2 hours, put a whole menu with what we got here and show you what you got. And it was pretty good. It was like real life, your job depend on like shop that Food Network show. It was like I create them an appetizer, a dessert, an entry, the whole 9 yards with a whole bunch of random stuff that I don't know what you got. And I just love it. When I was in college myself as a student, I used to have my own business that I used to sell food to students from my dorm.
Okay.
And it was pretty good. Like back then, I was used to charge you, I think it was $35, and I give you one meal every day, 5 o'clock. It was already created. It was in your Tupperware. You go pick it up. You have to eat it either on your place or my place. I didn't care. But you wash your own Tupperware, you bring it back if you want food the next day. And I cook for people from Monday to Thursdays, $35. I think I have up to like 20 something people buying food. You know, back then, $35 times 25, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you're just in college and you just want money to go and drink. You know,
Sure.
I didn't have no other obligations. You know, like I just need money to go to the open bar.
For
That
sure.
was about it. And you know, like it was like that. Like I used to create some stuff that at the beginning people didn't understand. Like, you know, like I was like, what the hell are you mixing this and that? It's disgusting. I said, wait for it, bro. You try and then we talk. And
Right.
you know, start from like 2-3 people into like 20 something people, and then I couldn't even get more. I was like, I can't cook for that many people in this tiny little kitchen, but it was fun.
Sure. I suppose there would be limits though on what you could do in a small kitchen.
Yeah, but you know, like I was still like, I would put meals like fajita meals and like meatballs and like whatever. Like I was like cooking my own food that they will pay, you know, because they will pay me all that money. And when you do your groceries, you don't need that much money. So it was pretty good. Like it was a good way to make your own business, and we have a lot of fun in college.
Sure. I imagine there was a lot of good times there.
Yeah.
I got a random question. I want us to have it on record of a way how to make Puerto Rican rice.
Wow, Puerto Rican rice. Puerto Rico is really unique. It's a tiny little island, but it depends where you're situated in the island will determine what you eat.
Sure.
You know, if you live in the coast, there's a lot of seafood, obviously, because
Sure.
you're living in the coast. And if you live like in the inside, in the mountains and stuff like that, then you eat what we call arroz con gandules. It's like a chickpeas, kind of a pigeon. Pigeon is kind of like a green, tiny little bean,
Okay.
and you cook that with, you know, you cook your rice with that, and you.
It was a specific kind of rice, though. I remember that one time you made it at work, and you were like, "I got the rice today."
Well, first of all, the rice have to be a medium-sized rice. You know,
Okay.
you could buy that long grain, but in Puerto Rico is that medium-sized rice, and it cannot be nothing fancy. You know, it cannot be arboreal rice. It cannot be jasmine rice. It just have to be plain cheap rice.
Like white rice or
Like
brown?
white rice.
Okay.
It have to be white. And the trick of cooking rice, no matter what country, a big mistake that people do, people will cook rice with water. Whatever you cook your rice in is how your rice will taste like.
Okay.
So actually the last thing that touched that pot should be the rice. So basically, you should put your oils and maybe some, like this is in Puerto Rico, you're going to put oil, maybe some tocino that is just like fat from the pork,
Sure.
and you cook it until it kind of crisp out. If you don't have that, you could use pork belly or you could use bacon. You add what I call the Puerto Rican Holy Trinity, that is peppers, onions, and garlic. That's what you need.
I like all those things.
You got those three things, you could cook everything. You add that, little bit of tomato sauce, sofrito, that is basically like cilantro and some chiles, but not like spicy, some sweet chilies.
Okay.
And you blend it with onions and you make like this green paste and you drop that there. And then you add your water and then you taste your water. When you get to the taste in that water, then you go like, that tastes good, then you dump your rice.
Okay.
Leave it by itself and you're gonna just cook down all the way. And you don't have to stir. The more that you stir, the more stickier that it's gonna be. Just let it by itself.
Because that stimulates all the starches in there, right?
Yeah. And you just become like a block of rice, you know, just leave it by itself. 20 minutes, 25 minutes will be done. You don't have to do too much with it, but it is. Puerto Rico rice is what tortillas are for Mexican. Like
Sure.
can't eat a meal in Puerto Rico without rice. Like the funny part about Puerto Rico, we are very very heavy on Spaniard culture. Obviously, we got discovered by the Spaniards.
So they're Hispanic influences from Spain then.
Yes, from
Okay.
Spain. But we also been related and part of the United States since 1919. Like
What exactly is it the term for what Puerto Rico is? It's a
common-
territory.
It's an American territory, but legally it's a Commonwealth.
Because you can vote in elections, but there's certain elections
We
you
could-
can't vote in, right?
We could vote to determine who's running for president, but then when the president election comes, we cannot vote.
So you can vote. Okay. That seems weird, right?
But it's because by the size of Puerto Rico, about the amount of people that live in Puerto Rico, we will have a lot of electoral votes.
Oh, sure. And that would
And-
change things a lot.
It would change things a lot, and especially Puerto Rico, just by culture, would tend more to be a Democrat party place.
Okay.
So Republicans will never allow us to vote for the president because that's a bunch of electoral votes that they know that they're losing.
Okay.
No matter who wrong, it doesn't matter. It's just gonna always shift that way.
That makes sense.
So, but without that, it's just another state.
Sure.
Same laws, same everything.
I actually learned something really cool about Puerto Rico during the pandemic because there was like a shortage of like IV bags. Apparently, most of the world's supply of IV, like saline bags and stuff like that, all come from Puerto Rico. Or the bags or something are produced there.
Yes,
or something.
actually, PVC, those plastic pipes.
Yeah.
Actually was created in Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
And from Puerto Rico went everywhere. And back on the 90s, from like the 70s to the 90s, like most of all the pharmaceuticals were in Puerto Rico because they didn't have to pay taxes.
Oh, sure.
And that's why a bunch of all this stuff get created down there. And eventually we start taxing people and they all went to China.
Oh, fair. Oh, man.
So now we have a bunch of like empty factories down there.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
But it's been weird, like before that we were like the number one producer of sugar in the world,
Okay.
and then nobody want to cultivate sugar no more. It's like fuck that, I don't know, underneath the sun and all that. And it was like they stopped doing that, and then the pharmaceuticals, and then all the pharmaceutical people left, and basically now like I think the new century, the biggest production of Puerto Rico right now, in reality, I think is music. Like this reggaeton. Like, we went from something that we didn't create it. It was actually created by people from Panama. And it was these people from Panama and Jamaica that live in New York that would try to do hip hop in Spanish.
Okay.
And
yeah, there's a lot of hip hop elements in it.
And then they created this music, but we took it to the next level. And that's why, there's always been that war of who created reggaeton. And at the end, I believe you guys did it. We just
made it better.
Make it better, But, like it got created. I remember when it got created, it was in like early 90s. And it was so strong and so crazy that the government went against that. And if you were caught in your car driving and listening to reggaeton, they would like fine you.
In Puerto Rico?
Yeah, they would like stop you. They would stop you, take your. It wasn't CDs, it was tapes back then. They would break the tape and
what the fuck?
give you like a ticket. Like you gotta go to court and pay it because it was illegal. It was too bad. The lyrics were tough.
Very sexual stuff.
Very sexual, very drugs, very
sure. Okay.
Naughty
stuff.
Yeah, it was from the hood. But
Okay.
back then, people were not used to it. Like now it's just whatever. Like people don't care anymore about it. But back then it was really really tough. I remember me being a kid listening to it in headphones because my mom couldn't know what the hell I was listening to. It was some crazy lyrics. But
now she knows.
Now everybody knows. Like the entire world. We have Bad Bunny in WrestleMania.
That J Balvin guy, right?
J Balvin is actually for Colombia. He's like,
oh really?
So reggaeton went to Colombia, and like J Balvin, he flipped it, and we owe to Colombians, reggaeton people, the fact that they clean it out.
Okay.
They make reggaeton clean and sexy, and then we took that from them too, and we used the street lyrics from Puerto Rico, and we blended, and now it's just crazy, like that kid, like that Bad Bunny kid 4 years ago was a bagger in a supermarket.
Jesus.
Like he was a bagger in a supermarket, recording at his own house, putting music in SoundCloud.
And now he's on Corona commercials with Snoop Dogg.
He's actually right now, as today, the biggest artist in the world.
Holy shit.
Like it is insane. Like the guy right now, he's gonna be in the new Narcos Netflix series that is coming out.
Okay.
He already recorded a movie with Chris Rock. He got a movie recorded with freaking Brad Pitt.
Okay.
So he was in WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, I saw him do his little thing, man. That was wild.
Like
he nailed that fucking flip, dude. What the fuck was that?
The very next day after WrestleMania, he announced his world tour. It got sold in 2 hours.
Holy shit.
Like
that's a big deal.
Yeah, like it's just like stupid, crazy things. Like right now, it's just like music industry right now, thanks to streaming.
Oh yeah.
The amount of money that these people are making is just ridiculous, and the funny thing is that none of this would have happened without the Harlem Shake.
I remember those videos too.
Okay, so when the Harlem Shake came out, like there was this reggaeton guy from Puerto Rico. He was really connected to the streets. Like he was backed up by huge narco people and everything. The guy was powerful. Like what this guy says, what goes, and he one day he got a call from God and he quit music, and he became a pastor. A lot of people was like, yeah, you're just scared, that cops are looking for you, people are gonna kill you in the street, and you're just hiding in church, blah blah blah. But like 13 years later, he's still doing it. So I guess it was a real call for him. But he got this song called Los Terroristas, the terrorist.
Okay.
And he go like, Con los terroristas. And that's how the Harlem Shake song start. The Harlem Shake song used to be like, Con los terroristas. And they go like, bam, 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 bam,
You're
bam,
saying
bam,
Carlos Terroristas?
Con los terroristas. Is
with the terrorists.
With the terrorists.
Okay.
So they would use that sampler. They grab that sampler, put it to a different beat, and that guy, his name is Hector the father, like Hector the dad, because he controlled everybody. And his manager one day called him and said, hey Hector, like, are you in church and crap now? I was like, yeah. But you got this new song out. He's like, what song? Like, what are you talking about? It's really the Harlem Shake song. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So they started investigating, yeah, they use my voice for that song, but that's not me. That's an old song, and they just sampled that out and they put it in a new beat, and it went viral. So they figured out a way that YouTube have to pay them for that.
Oh wow!
So basically, because that song, because the Harlem Shake opened this Pandora box that everything that is played and streamed is equal as being played on a radio. That's the only way artists used to make songs, by playing radio, they get the royalties. But now, because everything is online, they monetized that, and
Sure.
that's when it just went crazy. Like, they figured it out. The Latino musicians figured it out that making CDs and albums wasn't worth it anymore, because you will make an album, you have, I don't know, maybe Jay-Z drop an album, sold 25 million copies. He made $2 of each copy, he made 50 million.
Right.
But the Latino people start putting music in YouTube, and instead of giving you an album of 20 songs, they will put a song, a couple weeks later put another song, a couple weeks later put another song. So the 20 song that was coming out in one album now become 20 different albums.
Right, because so let's say you're making $1 off each song, then at that point, that's $20 compared to that $2.
Exactly. And that's when it went crazy.
Okay.
It's just, these people are making hundreds of millions of dollars by streams. It's just pretty cool, I think.
For real, that is cool.
They finally find a way to beat the system, because all that money used to stay on Sony or
with the fat cats.
Yeah, with the fat cats, and now they own it. Like,
right.
This is my music. I still do business with you, but you're just gonna distribute my music. But it's my music. I get paid, and I pay you instead of you get paid, you pay me.
Right.
So it was a good way to flip them. It's like now we own this. Pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that that's how all that came about. So that's kind of cool.
It is crazy. Like the amount. Like it's right there in Google. If you Google how much you get paid through like Spotify, or if you get paid by Google, it's a lot of money.
So I know on Spotify you actually have to be like an artist that's actually getting plays, like the millions and stuff like that. Because like, for instance, like a person like me and my band or whatever, like even if we had like 10,000 plays, like that's only going to get us like 20 cents.
Yeah, because like Spotify is so big, and YouTube and all of them. So like they won't pay you for every single view.
Right.
Because there'll be no way for them to do it.
Absolutely.
Like Despacito, that song. If they will pay you for each view, Despacito already, if you like the main channel of that song have over 7 billion views.
Holy shit.
And then you put other channels that have that song, and you put them all together. We're talking about 14, 15 billion views between all the channels.
Sure.
And if you have to pay royalty for all of that, forget it. Like, music is over because Despacito took all the music. So they make these packages of like every thousands of view equal one view. But you could get paid depending who you are from like, I don't know, from like 50 cents, $1 for every 1,000 views. And when you put that times millions and millions and millions of views, one song could generate a couple millions.
Right. And that's pretty. See, even like some like the streamers like Ryan's World and stuff like that, like those people like came from nothing and now they're worth like $22 million or something.
Look, we just have that joke of a fight last week. Logan Paul.
Mayweather's been robbing people for years.
Yeah, and so we have this new Puerto Rican-born 6-foot blonde guy, Logan Paul.
He's from Puerto Rico?
That's what he said the day of the fight.
I'm not saying, I've actually met a lot of Spanish people that are blonde hair, blue eyes.
But he's not, like.
He's white as fuck, right?
there's a law in Puerto Rico for some reason. If you super rich and you move to Puerto Rico, I think you pay like 4% taxes. That's about it. So all these multi-million people are moving to Puerto Rico because it's a legal way to evade taxes.
Oh, okay.
So he moved to Puerto Rico about 4 or 5 months ago. And, we got all these famous boxers and everything. So the day of the fight, they announcing is like, from Dorado, Puerto Rico, Logan Paul. So everybody in Puerto Rico's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're not from here, bro. You've been living here for 3 months.
What the fuck?
But I think he did it just to mess around, because like we got boxes like Tito Trinidad and stuff like that, so he wanted to be cool like them, I guess. I don't know. But it was funny. These people like totally rob everybody. Like they make over $100 million
For real.
for half an hour of dancing.
That's pretty wild to me. Like, but we both know that Floyd could have ended that fight anytime
He actually. Do you saw it?
I watched it. I didn't watch it at the time, but I mean, I did.
There was a moment of the fight that actually Floyd kind of knocked him out and hold him.
Oh.
Like he punched him and Logan was going down, so
that's
Mayweather kind of hold him so he didn't fall.
Oh wow! Don't go to sleep, bro.
Yeah.
I don't get paid as much as I knock you out.
But it was just fun, I was like, God, I'm glad I didn't pay it. I just saw it. There's your ways to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it was
the free market, baby.
Yeah. But I would be really upset, because I think it was like $50 to watch that crap.
Fuck, any of those fights are expensive. The fights, the UFC fights are ridiculous. They're like $100 fucking now.
And it's just ridiculous, and it's everything. It's just like in minimum wage. They want to talk. That everybody's talking about like how McDonald's putting all the prices up. Like actually here in South Dakota, like the ones in Sioux Falls, is the guy that owned like all the McDonald's in Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna raise the minimum hour for McDonald's employees to like $13.
Oh wow. And
that's cool, because employees will make more money, but at the end, the Big Mac gonna end up costing $10. It's like he ain't paying that from his pocket.
Right. So obviously, like, there's a lot of people that want the minimum wage. I am more of the idea. I think every single person, when they apply for a job, they should have the opportunity to negotiate their wage. And if that job doesn't want to pay them, don't work for that job. If they don't want to pay you go somewhere that will. And when people start finding out that that's a shitty fucking job that doesn't want to pay people, no one's going to want to work there. That's how the free market works. But a lot of people don't give it a lot of chances,
It is, the way that it was created, the minimum wage is to get people jobs, to create them so they could go away eventually.
Sure.
It's not to make a career. Like you can't think that I'm gonna make a career of being a cashier.
Right. Or working at McDonald's.
Yeah, and it's nothing bad. It is what it is. You have to bring money home. You got to do your groceries, but you should get that job to learn value, to know what is working, to learn, I don't know, how schedules are, and to get a big slap in your face and welcome to reality.
Yeah.
Working suck. That's what it's called, working.
Yes.
But it is what we do. But it shouldn't be a career, like you shouldn't be fighting like, no, we need minimum wage to be $19 an hour, like $10 an hour. It's not worth it. Yeah, but that job is not for you. That job is for that high school kid, is for that kid in college that is in a transition. There should be transition jobs.
Right.
And and at the end, these big corporations, they will pay it. They don't care. But you go to Europe and McDonald's don't have cashiers. You order your own food in a screen.
Oh yeah.
And that's eventually what's going to happen here too.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a Walmart, I think in Arizona, that doesn't have cashiers already.
Any cashiers?
Cashier.
Wow.
I think they have like one person for every 10 computers that he will help you.
Just like they do here or whatever. That person that's in the self checkout area.
And the funny thing is, that you go to these freaking places, and you have to like pick up your food, scan your food, back your food. You ain't getting no freaking discount.
I didn't get no training either, so I mean, if I miss a few items, that's not my fault.
Yeah, exactly. and they don't give you no discount, but they're making you work for free.
Right.
And it's just what it is. They're gonna find a way to like stick it back to us. They're not gonna lose money. It's just what it is. It's what I call, at one point of my life I was like so into like all this like conspiracy theories, and I study about it so much to get to a point that I was like, fuck it, there's nothing I could do. So I stopped because I was getting so
Too
mad
deep?
every night. Yeah, like every night I would spend 2-3 hours.
Is Jay-Z really in the Illuminati? I don't know.
Have you ever seen that Jay-Z picture from the 1920s?
No.
Yeah, go to Google and put Jay-Z's 1920s picture. Dude, it's a legit picture from a book.
And he looks just like Jay. It's
Dude,
Jay-Z.
it is fucking Jay-Z hanging out with some homies in New York, dressed like, gangster 1920s.
Sure.
And it's him. It's just him. It's just like time travel. It's one of those shapeshifter time traveler person. And I think there's one of Nicolas Cage back from the 1800s.
Oh, sure.
Like, it's just people, if not that, it's just people that look very, very much like
Right.
them.
So, I mean, like, yeah, who knows? Like,
you never know. Like, you got Hollywood making movies about this, and, is it really movies, or is it just teasing us and telling us a little bit of the truth,
Right? Fuck, the government within the last, few months has basically come out and admitted, aliens and UFOs exist, but they don't really know what's going on, allegedly, and nobody cares.
Exactly. Before they hide it, now they're telling you people that you don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, well, Joe Biden or Donald Trump.
But the funny thing about all this is like the COVID vaccine. You know how many people I heard ain't getting that shit? They're putting microchips on you. It's like, no, they're not. We've been carrying a microchip for the last 10 years.
That's so
voluntary. Right here. They listen to you, they hear you, they know everything.
Absolutely.
And you actually pay $100 a month to carry that chip. They're not gonna put that in a shot and give it to you. Like, come on,
fuck no.
If they really want to do something to us, they're gonna do it, and you're not even gonna notice.
Right.
They're gonna poison your water, and you're gonna get sick, and you're gonna die. This is bottom line. They're not gonna be like, yeah, everybody voluntarily come here so we could kill you. That's not gonna work like that. People have to stop being so paranoid. It is what it is. I'm not telling people to get it or not to get it. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't want to get it, don't get it.
Absolutely, that's your choice.
It's your choice, and
as it should be.
But it's not a microchip. Come on.
No,
it's just ridiculous.
Definitely not. I'm actually planning on getting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Just the one shot. I'm not interested in getting the 2-shot ones.
But isn't that the one that is killing people?
No, it was caused blood clots in 6 or 7 ladies that were taking a specific kind of birth control. And honestly, when women take birth control, even my wife was talking about how a lot of birth controls have blood clot risks because you're messing with a natural bodily function.
Remember when early in the podcast we talked about all these pharmaceuticals in Puerto Rico,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So, do you know where birth control got tested?
Was it Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, they sterilized over 30,000 women.
Holy shit.
Because
before they knew what they were doing.
Before the doses got to the right amount.
Okay, so they were overdosing too much.
Yeah, because they don't know.
Right.
I know that if we do this, you're not having babies. Oh crap, but you don't have a baby forever. And they went down and down and down and down and down and down until we have it until now it's good. But they weren't telling people it was birth control. They were telling people they were vitamins.
Oh.
They give it away on the projects. They went to the poor people on the projects and it's the government want to give you these vitamins because you ladies need these vitamins. What about my husband? He needs somebody to know it's just for the ladies. But
it'll make you lose weight.
Yeah, I believe was it ecstasy or Viagra was supposed to be to lose weight.
I don't know.
I don't remember which one. Maybe that's a good homework for people to Google. But it was either ecstasy or Viagra came out from a pill that it was supposed to help you lose weight, but then I think it was Viagra, and then the side effect was
it's gonna give you a big boner.
Yeah,
and it might not go down for 4 hours, and you
still didn't lose the weight.
And they might have to drill a hole in your penis to relieve the pressure, and you'll never use it again.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. I don't know. I don't need Viagra, obviously. So.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that happen by accident.
Sure.
They're looking for something, but something else came out. And
fucking silly putty. Do you ever heard about silly putty? So silly putty was originally invented by this military engineer. I think they were trying to figure out ways to either transport tanks or transport explosives safer or whatever. And that I'm not 100% sure. Someone else could Google it or something, and if they really want to know, but it was something along those lines. And then it turns out it was pretty much worthless. And then he wound up making a bunch of money off of fucking silly putty.
Dude, it's many things that it's just happened like that. Like I bet you, like in the kitchen too. Like maybe somebody was cooking something and he did it wrong, and then for damn, that shit is good. Like, and something came out like, cause like
chicken salad.
Like for me, like go back to like the beginning of the times. Who the hell decided? Because it doesn't even make sense. Because if you got a chicken, you eat the chicken, it's pretty good. But to get the chicken, you need that egg to hatch so you can have the chicken, right?
Right.
So who decided to break that egg and fry it? Like, who was the very first person? I was like, I gotta get this nucleus slime thing and put it on fire. I was like, oh my god, this is good. It's like sometimes I just wonder all this kind of stuff. While I'm cooking, I'm like brainstorming, like, who the hell put this together? Like, who the hell create sugar out of a sugar cane?
Oh, sure.
Like,
who processed that shit first?
Yeah, because you got the sugar cane and you could suck on it, and you bite it, and it's sweet and it's good. And there's a juice that we do back home that you get the cane and you pass it to these two rocks that I will squeeze the crap out of it and make a juice, and you drink that juice and it's freaking amazing.
Okay.
But it's probably like it's like drinking fucking diabetes in a cup, But I was from that was maybe something that, you suck on it, it's sweet. If I squeeze it, I get liquid, I could drink it. But how it got to the powder? Like.
So what, did they dry that liquid or something? Or the inside of the sugar cane they just scrape that shit out?
I guess the sugar cane, and that's shame of me, because if we were number one producer of sugar in the world and me not knowing how sugar get from point A to point B, shame of me.
You knew it at one point, though, right?
Yeah. When I was in school, I probably knew it, but the thing is, like, the sugar cane is like a lot of strings, bunch of strings, kind of like fiber optic. Yeah. Like, so I guess that if you peel it and you got all those fibers and you dry the shit out of that, and then you blend it, you got a powder.
I mean, just like ginger or any other seasoning or spice.
Exactly. So I'm pretty sure it's the same process.
Okay.
But the funny thing about sugar is, like, sugar is the most addictive thing in the world.
Yes.
It's like way addicted than cocaine. It's like, it's a reason it's in everything you eat.
Yes.
It's like a legal way to hook you to something. Like, I'm glad people know it now, because like, force.
Well, you were telling me this when I first met you. Before this was like this big thing, and like now it's kind of crazy to me. Like, fuck, man, Edgar fucking called that shit. Like,
back in the days, I remember, like, when I was starting in the business, I was like, why do we put sugar in everything? Then I figured it out, like, people don't come back because the salad is good. People come back because back in the head, you're addicted to that dressing,
Right.
Talking about dressing, you people in South Dakota and ranch.
Oof. You mean that South Dakota ketchup?
Jeez. Dude, like, I've never seen something more crazy. Like, at Dakota State University, going back to that, when I went there, I helped Sodexo, this company, to become the food provider from that school. We built this new kitchen, new menus, we knew everything, But the coolest thing ever was we had this humongous salad bar, and we would put maybe 1 gallon of everything. A gallon of French, a gallon of Thousand Island, and that gallon will last a week. Not ranch. Got to make up to 20 gallons of ranch a week. Kids will literally get cups full of ranch, and they will dunk their pizza, their sandwiches, their chicken strips. They would done it, and then they would drink it, and I was like, holy jeez. Like, it was something crazy. Because for me, like, like, I was never a big fan of it, so it was something new for me.
Sure.
I was kind of like the same way with ketchup. I spent many years without ketchup in my life because I ended up in a hospital because I ate so much ketchup in my life that it ruined my stomach. And I remember I went to the hospital. I think I was like 18, either 18 or 19. And I spent like 3 days in the hospital. And because the ketchup was causing me so much pain.
There's a lot of salt in it, probably?
The acid.
Oh, tomatoes are super acidic.
And especially ketchup, the concentration in the pH of the ketchup.
Well, because it's all the shit.
Yeah.
It's not like the whole tomatoes. It's all everything that comes.
It's the process.
Yeah.
And it caused so much pain that I went to the hospital and I spent a couple of days so they could figure it out. And they nailed it down that it might be ketchup. If you eat ketchup like you say you eat and you're so addicted, it might be ketchup. You might have like an ulcer or something. The only way for us to figure it out if we do a colonoscopy. I'm an 18-year-old kid. You're putting nothing through my butt. Hell no. It's not going to happen. So I told the doctor, it's like, you know what? I got a different option. And he's like, what is your option? It's like, what about go home and I don't eat ketchup? And if it stopped hurting, then it was ketchup. But he ain't putting nothing on my butt. So I went home and I spent years and years without ketchup. Pain was gone.
Sure.
And it was funny because I would go to places and if I got pain, I knew they used ketchup in that recipe. It was a way to know what were you doing in the kitchen, like, oh, this is my secret recipe. And it was just ketchup with something else, But the funny thing is I could eat Tabasco while all this was happening. I could eat hot sauce. I could eat Tabasco. It was just ketchup. The pH of the acid of ketchup was so high that it would like make me cry, dude. Like the pain was insane. But like I remember opening a restaurant in Houston and I wanted to do a meatloaf as one of the items for the menu. And we put together this chipotle honey ketchup, so you could put it with your meatloaf. So I need to try ketchup, and I was so scared. I was like, "Oh man, I gotta try ketchup. It's gonna hurt." But I tried it, and nothing happened. And now, thank God, I could get ketchup again. I just use it for my fries. That's about it.
Sure.
But
now you just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna overdo this and fuck it up again.
Yeah, but I was addicted. Like I was so addicted to ketchup that I would get ketchup in a plate and get bread and dip my bread in ketchup. Like I remember we have this exchange student that she stayed at my house, and she challenged me like, "Oh, you put ketchup in everything?" I was like, "Yeah, in everything." Oh, I'm badass. I put ketchup in everything. Like the kids that will do that now with the hot sauce, and they just eat hot sauce. They don't even taste it. They just taste freaking
it's gross.
hot sauce. Yeah. So my food legit was just ketchup all the time. So she made me eat ketchup with ice cream, and it was an instant throw up. Like if you want to throw up, you get ketchup with ice cream and get one scoop, you're gonna throw up right there, like right at the moment. There's no way. So disgusting.
Is it because it's gross, I wonder, or a combination of that and the fact that you're mixing dairy with vinegar?
Probably. It was like a bomb. Like I literally just got one bite and plop, it just came out like right there, like crazy. Like, but like I don't know. Like going back to food, I just love food. Like the biggest thing about food is it's not even the food, it's the memories. Like how does it trigger memories? Like. You got the soul food. It's soul because it triggers those soul memories inside of you. Like,
yeah.
It's just crazy, Like I don't know. It probably happened to you when you tell people you cook, and people live this fantasy that we come home to eat lobster and filet mignon and shit. It's like we come home and we eat cereal and peanut butter jelly sandwich. That's what we eat.
Whatever is easy, because we spent all day
cooking. And I actually, like, when I was in college, I used to lift weights, so I knew, like, Olympic weight. So I knew how to gain weight and lose weight. But then you keep growing and getting older and you keep getting harder, but you think you could do it that fast and that easy like you do. So, and then working in the restaurants and you don't eat all day, and then you come home and you eat crap. So I struggled with overweight for so much in my life. And I don't know, like, lately I try so many diets and I lose all the weight and then I get it and I lose and I get it. And like last September, September 9, month 9, September. Last year, September, I hit 317 and I was pissed. I was like,
oh shit,
man, I'm big. But I didn't want to do a diet because I was like, okay, I'm going to lose the weight and 8 months later, I'm going to gain it. So now what I decide to do, because I love food and I enjoy food, I decide to count calories, man. And that's what I've been doing. And I already lost 90 pounds in like eight and a half months. 90 pounds, pretty good, like. But I eat whatever I want to eat. I stay away from sugar, and I stay away from, all the crappy carbs, because eventually it will become sugar.
Right.
And I tend to follow instruction very well, and my doctor told me, if you don't stop eating sugar, you're going to be putting a needle inside you pretty soon.
Sure.
So I was like, fuck this. I ain't eating no more sugars. And I cut it off. And it was tough. The first couple of weeks, it's like breaking a habit. Like, I was having headaches and, like, I feel like shit.
Oh, yeah, because your body's telling you want that shit.
Yeah, you want your sugar. But, like, right now, like, I will sit down and I will eat, and it will be funny. Like, I eat 4 slices of pizza and I'm full. Before, I would eat an entire pizza by myself.
Sure.
And an hour later, I would be like snacking in something. And it wasn't even picking out. It was just like, I was just hungry.
Right.
But it is crazy, like how we in America, we are teach and mold to eat a lot. You go to other countries and their fridge is like half the size of our fridge.
Portion sizes in general are smaller, like everywhere in the world.
And like McDonald's burgers in Europe are real beef.
Oh, sure.
In here, they're real beef. They're
So there was that lawsuit or something a few years ago, and like McDonald's actually had to start carrying real beef patties too. But that's, you specifically have to order those ones or something.
But also, it is a mix of beef.
Right.
It's over there. It's like 100% beef.
Okay.
And like Velveeta, the cheese in Europe is different than our cheese. Because like Gatorade are different. Like all these companies have to build different stuff for them, because over there it's illegal. Like you cannot just sell whatever you want.
Right. And different taste buds and stuff too. Like different people like different things. Like you were saying, like if you lived on the coast of Puerto Rico, you might eat a lot more seafood and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's my shit, man. Seafood.
I'm very picky with seafood. Like I'm allergic to shrimp, so that takes out a lot of shit for me. You know what I mean? But like I really like fish, like salmon and stuff like that when it's cooked correctly and stuff like that. But I'm more of a fan of like freshwater fish.
Like crawfish?
No, like walleye and like bass and stuff like that. Like any stuff you'd catch in lakes and stuff.
You know what is funny about walleyes? Is it walleye, right? The one from here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I learned that if you go to a restaurant and you eat walleye, it's not from the United States.
Oh, really?
It's from Canada.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Canadian walleye is huge.
It's because it is illegal for you to sell walleye from here. Because they want to keep the population of walleye for people to go be able to fish it and enjoy it and da. Because if they commercialize it, it's it's going to be gone.
That makes sense, actually.
I'm pretty sure that the one that we get from Canada is probably just farm raised.
Sure.
Like I'm not sure. Don't quote
Fuck,
me
it
on
tastes
that.
good too.
Yeah. Most of the people won't even notice, you know.
Right. You get a good, nice piece of fish, you're just gonna be happy it's cooked good.
Yeah, like.
Unless they fuck it up.
And some people still like it. You know, people like fucking up fish. It's just what they enjoy. What else? What is your favorite food ever, Babo?
You know, I actually tried something recently that might be my favorite food, and it's Hispanic.
What's that?
Birria tacos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
Don't talk about it too much.
I'll stop, but you know. If you know, you know.
Yeah. But it's one of my concepts.
I've never heard of those before.
Because
they're huge.
but the birria tacos in the United States are not the real birria tacos.
Well, they don't serve it with the juice.
No, that birria taco is supposed to be made with goat meat.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of like shepherd pie.
Okay.
Shepherd pie is not made with ground beef.
No,
It's supposed to be with lamb.
Oh, I thought it was supposed to be made with like kidneys or something like that. Something weird.
But it's from the lamb because it's from the shepherds. It's from your sheep.
That makes sense.
You know, but people won't eat that here, so we make it with ground beef. But the same thing with the birria tacos. Birria tacos, the Americanized birria tacos are made out of beef.
Yeah.
But originally they're made out of cabritos. You know, cabrito is a goat.
Okay.
But it's basically like a stew meat, and you cook it for many hours until you get really tender. So you just flake the meat.
Sure.
And then all the juice, you don't throw that juice away. You use the
Oh.
juice to make the Dunkin' juice. It's just fucking amazing.
Apparently, you're supposed to let that juice. This is what Hector said at work. He said you're supposed to let that juice cool down, and then you take all the fat and stuff off, and then you fry the shells in that fat. And then you can serve it with the juice too, still. But
then also the juice doesn't come by itself. You need to get some special chiles, like ancho chiles and stuff like that.
Okay.
And you soak those in like hot water so they could rehydrate, and you drop it with the juice and you blend it so the juice get that particular flavor.
Okay.
But yeah, the fat that you get is for you to but you don't fry the tortilla. You just throw it like in a flat top.
Yeah, not like a fryer, just like
yeah. It is good thing, you know. Like I live for a while in Texas, and I eat a lot of legit Mexican food.
I imagine Texas was probably pretty good, being right on the border and stuff.
Yeah, and like if you don't go to like the big restaurants, because if you're in Texas, no matter where you are, if you go to a restaurant for Mexican food, it's Mexican food that is Tex-Mex. You know, it's Americanized Mexican food. But if you go to the food trucks, you're gonna find some shit there, bro. Like, you're gonna find some brains tacos and like
brain.
Oh yeah, tongue tacos, like
beef tongue tacos.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I actually had those one time. Those are really good.
They're cheek tacos. Do you know that
beef cheeks?
Beef cheek. Actually, any animal cheek. Do you know that's one of the best meat in the world?
Right, because they sell halibut cheeks,
and it costs you like $30 a pound.
Expensive as fuck.
Yeah, you know. So when you buy it, it will cost you $30 a pound. So when you sell it, you sell like tiny little pieces for $30.
Right.
So you can make some money because it is really, really expensive because, you know, you have to catch this halibut and then you just take that little piece.
Right.
Same thing with the cow, but it's the most tender meat out there. It's just insane, you know, but it's a secret. We don't want people to know that because we want that for us.
Like if everyone gets that, then there's not going to be left.
Yeah, and then we tell people that filet mignon and chicken breasts are good because they're actually not. It tastes like shit, you know, because we want the good stuff for us.
Right.
I always say that, you know, like people that enjoy a chicken breast is okay. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. But and same thing with the filet mignon, you know, like I always say that if you have to wrap your steak in bacon to make it good, it's not that good, right? If you could eat a ribeye with all the marble and fat that's the good shit.
Right. That's why I buy the London broils, because it's a shitty steak, and that's why they wrap it in bacon.
Yeah.
And they're cheap. 2 for $4 at Hy-Vee.
Hey, Hy-Vee, start, patrocining my guy here.
What's that?
Hy-Vee should start paying you for commercials, We're looking for sponsors out there.
Employee owned.
I think is in Hy-Vee selling now like sushi and stuff.
Oh yeah, so Preston and Axel were working over there at the one on 26th and Sycamore, and then I think Preston only works at Crave now. But I think Axel's still at Hy-Vee over there.
Yeah, I hear like they got like sushi. And, I don't know.
They said it was pretty good. I think they probably don't do like a wide variety of stuff like other places
It's
might.
probably just the basic stuff,
But I mean, I
I
hear people talk about it tasting good too. So I mean, that's all right.
But
Sushi ain't for me at all, though.
But it's really hard to fuck up sushi. It's basic.
Sure.
Like your sauces could take it to the next level, but like if you're wrapping something here and there, like, but it is really good. Like I love sushi personally, and Asian food. I love Asian food. I think out of Caribbean food, I think Asian food is my favorite food.
Okay.
It's really but like legit Asian food. No, not from the China moon from the corner,
Yeah. I like Hy-Vee Chinese because it's cheap.
but that Chinese from the regular places on the corner is just like the Tex-Mex restaurant.
Right.
It's Chinese for us.
Right.
But it's not legit.
Because they don't use these ridiculous sauces and stuff like they use sauce, but like kind of like what Bobby was saying. If you remember Bobby over in sushi,
Yeah.
he was saying like American sushi is like way different than like traditional sushi. Like,
Yeah.
Americans want to fry everything and dip it in and cover it in just as much sauce as they can, whereas traditionally it's like making the best use of these fish products and letting them stand on their own.
And there's a lot of people out there that think that sushi is raw fish. It's not.
There's lots of different types.
Well, sushi is just a technique.
Okay.
And then you can make it with different things. Like I have my own sushis that I make, that I create recipes for people that hate raw fish. Like I have even made sushi with freaking like buffalo chicken.
Oh sure.
Like you can make it with whatever you want. It's your technique. It's like a lasagna. Like there's many options of lasagna, many pizza options. Like it doesn't have to be just cheese and sauce.
And it's not always rolls either, because there's like
there's sashimi, sushi, nigiri.
Sashimi is that's the one that's more like bite-sized things that are like together like that or something, right?
Yeah. It's just the cut of the raw meat.
Right.
That's what it is. And like there's so many ways to eat it. You got your poke bowls, and it doesn't have to be a roll. It's just the fact that it is one of the most healthier stuff out there.
Sure.
If you don't go crazy on your spicy mayo and and eating the sauces that make it feel really good because they have a lot of sugar on it.
Right.
That eel sauce that is amazing. That's just pure sugar.
I believe it. Well, I remember when they used to make the ponzu was the one with all the lemons in it.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's really good.
All those liquids and then the whole box of sugar almost.
It is. I just love to like simplify food. That's one of the tricks, and people don't get that. Like, the more simple your food is, the better your food will be. And even restaurants, you got these restaurants out there that want to have these crazy menus and have like 200 items in a restaurant, and they make money because they got a machine behind them of marketing, and it is what it is, and they make money. But you also have these places, tiny places, that make 5 things, but they make sure that those 5 things are the best 5 things in town.
Absolutely.
Like I only make burgers, but people will be willing to drive 4 hours to eat my burger because it's the best burger. And that's the secret about food. That's what I enjoy personally. Like I enjoy finding these mom and pop's place and just trying them and eat them and listen to the story. And like sometimes it's like, oh, this used to be my great grandma recipe and whatever.
Oh shit.
And that's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah. There's that place out in Garrettson or Corson or wherever it is. What's it called? Oh So Good or something like that. It was on the fucking Guy Fieri's show or whatever.
Yeah, he was in town,
He
right?
does like all that soul food or whatever.
When did he
out there.
came? Last year?
It was within the last year for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I had eaten in a couple of places that I've been in Triple D. And
Yeah.
most of the time, he's right spot on, man. Like
That dude knows food for real.
yeah,
Fucking Flavor Town.
You know, when you got hair like that and dress like that, you have to know something, because you can't carry that hairstyle and that clothes around if you don't know nothing.
For real.
I think he just renewed his contract.
Oh
With
yeah, they
Forever
just
for-
gave him
for a shitload of
100
millions.
million, yeah. Or it was either 60 million or 100 million.
Yeah.
Regardless, give me either one, I'll be happy.
Yeah, I go to places and eat. Yeah, but like, he's actually one of the guys that you know, like when you work in the business and you got these mega guys working in TV, you kind of respect some of them and some of them you don't respect.
Yeah.
But he's one of the ones that I actually kind of give him his respect, because guy came from the bottom. You know, he came from the dish pit and he worked his way up, and his family, like his dad and mom, like refinanced their house and gave him the money to open his first restaurant. And
Oh really?
yeah, that's how he came out, and look at where he at now. You know,
For real?
that's something. You know,
That's wild.
you know, I don't like, you know, the disrespectful chef on TV.
Like Gordon?
I don't want to say names. Yeah, you don't
Hell
have
of
to
a
be.
cook, but he's kind of a prick.
Yeah, but it's because they show that's what people want to see.
You think he's really like that? Like when he's hanging out at home?
Do you really think, like legit? You work in this business for many years, Pablo. When I became your boss, very first day, second day, I show up over there, and I tell you, the fuck is wrong with you? You fucking moron! You fucking asshole! You probably would have punched me in my face. Legit, like cooks won't stand for that in real life. You know, that's just fake.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't care who he is or who he are. Like, can't yell at people like that for 20 years and nobody have bust your lip. You know, it's not real. It's just what the TV wants.
Sure.
This is what it sells. You know, like personally, I have eat out of a bunch of master chef out there. I think my favorite chef out there, and I respect her a lot because it's a girl, is Kat Cora.
Oh, sure.
She's badass. Her food is on point.
Didn't she just win something within the last couple of years or something? One of those Michelin star awards or something?
I believe so. And I think she was the very first female master chef.
Okay.
You know, like, and she's badass. Like, I ate in one of her restaurants and her food is insane. You know, I don't know if that happened to you when you go to restaurants and you just break everything apart in your head. Like,
I actually have not ate in a restaurant at all since COVID.
ooh.
Not even one time. We prefer to order out. But I mean now it's like getting to be that time, like we're definitely gonna start going back and stuff. My wife's fully vaccinated and I'm gonna go get that one too, you know, and I'm not gonna worry so much about it then. Like I know a lot of people are worried about like the vaccine and stuff, and that's totally cool if they don't want to get it, but I think having COVID and me ruining all my lungs and shit, like being like a high risk person, I think that would suck way worse than having this vaccine do something weird to me.
You know, I got it, and the way that I see it, I was like, well, I get it, you know, like if 10, 15 years from now something come up, like I already live a good life.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy my life. Thanks to be a chef, I live in so many places and I travel a lot and I have fun. Like, kind of hesitated probably to give the shot to my daughter. You know, she's just 8 years old, and like, I don't know about that.
Sure.
You know, she still have all her life to live, and
there's a reason why they haven't approved it for kids yet.
Yeah, and for what we know, you know, it doesn't affect them that hardcore. Like, you know, we never know. Like, and we probably will never know. You know, like it's gonna become the normal. You know, it's just gonna be like any other flu.
Right.
You know, it's just gonna happen. Like, I don't think COVID ever came to South Dakota, apparently, right?
What's that?
Like the COVID. Like,
Well, it's hard. It depends on it depends on who you listen to. You know what I mean? I definitely know a lot of people that were sick, and I know a lot of people that lost people. You know, so I mean that fucking sucks. But like, realistically, like 99% of people are gonna be fine.
And a lot of people here in South Dakota didn't. Man, like I would say 9 of every 10 people that I talk, like, they will tell you it was a lie. It wasn't real. That's just the government. That's bullshit.
Right.
They just want my guns. And like,
you know what? They've been saying that they're going to take the guns for years, and they still haven't come. You know what I mean?
Talking about that, you know what I got today? I got this weird phone call today. And it said Crystal something. So I answered because I have an employee there. Her name is Crystal. So I answered. I think it was her. And it's this record machine from the IRS, blah, blah. If I press 1, connect me to this person.
Oh, it wasn't really the IRS, was
it? It was. So the person started talking to me in a cute accent. And he is from the IRS, federal government, blah, blah, blah. And they just have a red flag on my bank account. And they need to talk to me because there was a $130,000 transaction from my bank account to some suspicious account in Colombia. First of all, I wish I have $130,000 in the bank right now. So that was number one. You know, I started talking to the guy, and usually when I get these scam phone calls, and if I got a couple minutes, I like to entertain them a little bit just to have fun.
It's great.
So I'm talking to the guy, and he keeps digging and digging, and he's like, "Oh, how come you haven't get that notice from the deputy department?" Like I was like, no, like what letter? Oh, sir, you got that letter? Where they're like, you have to let me talk to you. Like you're gonna be arrested in the next 45 minutes if we don't resolve this problem right now. You know, at the end, I got tired. I was like, you know what? Do me a favor. Tell the cops where I am and tell them to come and get me. And hang out the phone. But like, geez, like, there's some crazy people out there. Like, the crazy thing is that if it happened to me, it happened to many people, and there's people biting that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll end up giving them their address, phone number, social security number, and like everything.
I have to pay this fine in several dozen different gift cards? Oh, that makes sense. No problem. Here's my credit card information.
Yeah. You know, like,
oh, you need Get and Go gift cards to pay this fine for me for something I did 10 years ago that I didn't know about? Oh, fuck. Sure.
I get faxes sometimes. Faxes assist. If people don't know that, and whoever is young and don't know what a fax is, it's a piece of paper that comes out of your printer. And I get faxes all the time about some random family member that live in Canada and die and leave me $85 million. They just need a bank account number so they could deposit the money in my account.
We just need all your access information, but we'll put the money in there.
Yeah, nobody have claimed this money, and you're the closest family member this European person that live in Canada have, you know, because this Puerto Rican guy have many family members in Canada, you know, like, it's just funny. But it's sad, you know, because a lot of people still biting.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, man. I hate that shit. It gets super annoying. I get calls about my extended car warranty all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I don't own the car. It's Autumn's car. Or student loans and stuff like that. It's like, I've never gone to college.
The one that I got today, and right when I hang up with him and I looked the phone call was from Houston, you know, because I still have my Texas phone number. I never changed it.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, oh, yeah, the cops are coming for me in Houston. I haven't lived in that house in 10 years, bro. Good luck finding me, you know. Like, I still get phone calls of like, there was one time I got this letter and a phone call from a county in Texas that supposedly I was pulled over and they fined me and I owe them like $3,000 and I'm supposed to pay them, or if I don't, whenever I touch Texas, I'll be arrested, and it's just never been in the place. Like how do I got? But the funny thing is that they know my car, they know my, they got all this information, but that's public domain,
Right. A lot of that stuff's super easy to find. Or it just costs a little bit of money, and if they're getting that much money out of other people, this little bit of money to get this information ain't shit.
Yeah, I just feel bad for those people biting the hook,
Especially all these old people, like they don't even have that much money sometimes, and they're giving them like all their savings and shit so they don't go to prison or something. It's like, you're not gonna go to prison. Call the police station first.
But worst case scenario, let's say it's true. Worst case scenario. Oh, they're gonna come and arrest you in 45 minutes. Okay, cool. Let them come, arrest me. Then when I get there, if it's true and legit, then I pay you.
Right.
I'm not gonna send my credit card number to you that I don't even know where you're calling from. When shit is real, it look real. It doesn't look kind of like fishy.
Right. You got any recipes that you want to get anyone to try? Something that you're like recently made that was kind of in the tip of your mind or something? Because I can always find some links later on and edit them in or put them in at the end or something.
I don't know. Recently, I was invited to some friend's house, and they wanted to try Puerto Rican food.
Yeah.
So I cooked a bunch of Puerto Rican food, but I was talking to my sister about flavors, and I created this, like, you remember the plantains when I made that plantain?
The
buns?
Oh, yeah.
So I made these tiny little plantains, but this time they were sweet plantains instead of the non-sweet.
Oh, okay.
So it was a tiny little sweet toast with pork belly and a mango salsa on top.
So kind of like a spin on like a canapé or something.
Yeah, kind of like a Caribbean bruschetta.
Oh, okay.
Because it was mango, cilantro, red onions, salt, pepper, and lime juice.
Okay.
Don't blend it on the blender or nothing. Just cut everything with a knife, mix it up, let it chill for a couple of hours, and then I cook the pork belly, put it on top of the plantain, and then put that stuff on top. I will send you a picture from my phone when we're done, so you could put it like right here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people could see it. Never tried it before. I don't know if you do it, but when I cook from my head. I like to put flavors that I think they're gonna be good together, and 97% of the time they're good together. I won't say I scratch sometimes, Sometimes I'm like, I thought that was going to be good, and it's not, or it's just okay.
Sure.
But most of the time it works. That's been not my secret, but that's my forte. Like I have learned many kitchens. I have learned Indian food. I have learned Asian food, Middle Eastern food, American food, Italian food, French cuisine. And what I do to make it mine, I spin all that with my Caribbean flair. And that's my cuisine.
Okay.
That's who I am in the kitchen,
Sure.
And it's always worked really, really goddamn good, like I think that's one of the biggest secret out there that people should be so worried about. Like, I want to be original chef and I want to create this. Like, mostly everything is created. Just make it yours.
Yeah.
If you like a pizza, how can you make that pizza be your pizza? Put your flavors, put your stuff in there, and make it better. And that's what I've been doing. I tell people, like, if you want to do something, look for a recipe in the internet. Who cares? But don't print that recipe, cook it, and tell me that's your recipe, because it's not.
Right.
Then you're just fucking lying.
You're stealing.
You're stealing. But you get that recipe from the internet, and you cook it, and you cook it, and you cook it until you can make it perfect. Now you have it perfect. Now make that recipe your recipe.
Start changing things.
Start changing this here or this there. Maybe add this other flavor and add this other thing. Instead of bread, let's use plantains, or instead of plantains, let's use, I don't know, cauliflowers or whatever it is that you flip and you flare that thing and you make it your own. And that's the real secret of becoming you.
Sure.
You know, like a lot of chefs want to be somebody else. You know how many chefs just are a copy of somebody else. You know, like you start this because you love this, so don't lose that on the way there. You know,
right?
Like when I started this, I did it because I used to look my mom when I was a kid. Used to look my mom cook, and I used to look people faces eating at my mom's house, and how much they enjoy, and everybody have to be in my house because Gloria, she's the one who cook really good, and I wanted that for me. I want to be the one, and that's why I started cooking, because I want to be that person. I wanted people to like eat my food, and I love to entertain people, and I wanted people around me, and I'm the one cooking and talking and entertaining, and but never forgetting that stuff, never forgetting where I come from. You know, like sometimes some Campbell tomato soup with a bunch of different seasonings and a good grilled cheese that you could dip on it and eat it is badass.
I like to take like Campbell's cream and chicken soup and mix that in with rice. Really good.
And there's a lot of people like, I learned a lot of things here in the Midwest. A lot of
weird shit, right?
But good.
Yeah.
You know, like I think the first banquet that I did here in South Dakota, this person asked me if I could do a hot dish, and I was really offended. So I could do a fucking hot dish, and I could make a cold dish too.
Oh, you didn't know?
I don't know what she was talking. I was like, but then and I was like, yeah, I could do a hot dish if it have to be hot, and I could make a cold if it have to be cold. And she's looking at me like, "How are you talking, bro?" and we keep talking, and I was like, "Are you talking about casserole?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we call them hot dish." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." But then I figured out that South Dakota is like the capital of hot dishes. It's like the capital of casseroles.
Casseroles and chislic.
Yeah, chislicks are
crazy.
Chislicks are good.
Yeah, I like chislic.
I have a spin of my chislic. I don't fry them.
You grill it? Yeah. I like grilled chislic way more than fried.
And
way better. It's like the seasonings you actually cook into there.
And if you marinate them overnight, I'm gonna give people a trick. It's not a secret, but wishbone. Is it wishbone, right? The dressing.
Yeah.
Go to the store and you go and get your Italian Robusto wishbone dressing. Right at the bottom, really tiny little letters say "good for marinade." It is good for marinade.
Oh yeah.
You got a Ziploc bag. Get your steak with salt and pepper. Throw it in there. Dump that wishbone in there. Seal your Ziploc. Leave it there 24, 48 hours, and then cook that steak, bro. It's gonna be the best steak you ever eat in your life.
Good.
Super tender, super juicy, super high on flavor. You know, there's a lot of garlic, there's a lot of vinegar and everything in there.
Another thing that actually a reason why Italian dressings of pretty much even other brands would be good too, you know what I mean? But it's the oil in there actually helps to make that steak cook better. Yeah,
it's just amazing. Like, and a good cast iron.
Oh man, that's the best way.
You sear that steak a minute on each side, and drop a bunch of butter and some thyme and some rosemary, and keep scooping that butter on top of that steak. And oh my God, like, I personally believe that the biggest enemy of a piece of steak is a barbecue grill, because all your flavor is going away.
Oh sure.
It's ending in your chalk, or it's ending in the fire. So all your flavor is going away. You're letting it go away, and then you're like eating a steak that is not juicy. You just have to put barbecue sauce on it now to be good. That's always a trick. Like, if you have to add something to something, There's a little red flag there that is not that good.
Not that there's anything wrong with adding something, but if it can't stand on its own.
Exactly. Like personally, I love barbecue sauce, but I like it on the stuff that need it. Like I could eat ribs without barbecue sauce, but I could make a really juicy barbecue rubs to put on my ribs and then eat it, and it's amazing. You know, like. It's like, and then never be afraid. You know, the biggest thing that I hate the most is when people tell you, I don't like that, but they have never tried that.
You can't say you don't like something if you haven't tried it.
But they always tell you that. No, I don't like that. Have you tried that? No. How do you know you don't like it? I just know.
I'm a clairvoyant.
And I'll tell you something, like, I have avocados in my backyard, back home, all my life. Always have avocados.
What kind?
Well, they're different back in Puerto Rico.
I just learned, actually, within the last few weeks, Caesar was telling me about there's all these different kinds of avocados.
Yes.
What? There's big ones, huge ones.
There's an avocado that that legit, when you open it, it's like butter. It's like creamy.
God, what's that one called?
It's all depends, like, what is it called in Mexico, what is it called in Costa Rica, what is it called in Puerto Rico, it's going to be different.
Right. I just remember, like around here we get, like, Haas avocados.
Well, the avocado that you get here is the avocado from California.
Okay.
It's that tiny little black skin avocado.
Okay.
And that's probably the cheapest, that's the bottom of the line.
Okay.
Avocado. You know, like, there's avocados. The one that I got in my house, backyard, the smallest avocado you could ever get is probably about 7-8 inch.
Oh, shit.
And that would be like a little avocado. You could get avocados that are like 9-10 inch big.
That's a big avocado.
But when I was growing up, like, everybody would put it in the food, and I tried one time, and I was like, it doesn't taste like nothing. But then I realized, you know, years and years and years later, you know, I started using it to do other stuff. Use it as an ingredient instead of just eating it plain.
Right.
And then I was like, damn, this is good. You know, like, you develop that palate that would take their... Happened with Scotch. The first time that I tried Scotch. It was a very, very funny thing. You know, in Puerto Rico, it's legal to drink alcohol at the age of 18. I could go to a bar, sit down in a bar, and drink alcohol.
Okay.
Like legit alcohol.
What about
legal.
beer?
I was drinking beers in the quinceañeros, you know, in the sweet, like when you're a kid, like, somebody might sneak you beer or something, but like by the law, I could go in a bar and sit down and have liquor when I'm 18.
Okay.
And I remember I used to drink this, like, we call it girly, but not girly. That's because it's a girl. It's just like these little cocktails, you know. My favorite was like amaretto sour, and I was like so badass and drinking amaretto sour.
That's a weird fucking concoction.
Yeah, and I sit down in this bar one time with this girl that I was like recently meeting. She became like, she's my best friend. She's like my sister. Shout out to Will Murray, and it was really, really, really goddamn cool. Like we met in college, the very first day of college. Like I was bored. I didn't know nobody. What were I gonna do? Let's go and hang out in the women's dorms. So I walked to the women's dorm, and I'm like walking around the dorm, and see this girl pull up. I opened a Marlboro box and got the cigarettes. I was like, "Can I have a cigarette?" And she said no, and I was like, "Well, I guess no." And she's like, "I'm just joking." And she gave me the cigarettes, and we started talking. And since then, we've been like best friend, like more than best friend, like just like our only child. And her mom and her dad always like treat me like a son, and then to the day they still treat me like a son. And
nice.
We became brothers, man. And it was really funny, you know, like she have her wife now, and they grow this beautiful little daughter. And,
nice.
But like back then, you know, like she used to be like my wingman, my best wingman. Like she would go to the bar, and she tried to hook up with this girl. It didn't work. She would call me. She's like, "Hey, Edgar, I got this girl here. I think she might go with you." It's like, yeah. But I remember the first time that we went drinking, I was like, "Hey, Wilma, what do you want to drink?" And she's like, "Oh, just give me a glass of ice." I'm like, "No, I got you. Don't worry, I got you. I'll pay. Just give me ice." It's like, "Well, I'm paying. Like, you can drink whatever you want." And she got ice. And so I get her the cup of ice. And she got this flask out of her pants. It's like, drop her on her eyes, and she started drinking. And I was like, "What's that?" It's like, "Oh, scotch." So I tried it. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's so good." The very first time that you drink scotch, you don't like scotch.
Fuck no, nobody does.
Nobody does. But, like at that moment, I decided that this girl can't got more balls than I do. This is what I drink too. So I forced myself to drink that over and over and over until you develop the palate. You know? And now, I barely drink actually now, but like, if I do, it has to be scotch. I cannot drink nothing else. It's just that smoke flavored wood barrel taste, and it's just like, it's really good. And same thing with food. Some stuff you might not like it once, and then you try it again, and then you try it again, and
guacamole and avocados were something like that for me. Actually, I didn't like them like growing up. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" And now I do. I tried guacamole one time actually when Vicky was making it at work, and back in the day, and I was like, "That's pretty good." She's like, "Try it," and I was like, "All right."
And it's funny because like every person that make it different. Like, they might taste similar, but my guacamole is different than Vicky's guacamole, and it's different than Juan guacamole.
Right.
We all have a different thing because we make our guacamole.
Someone might like it spicy.
Yeah, I like to put Tabasco sauce on mine.
Okay.
And it's just like, for me, that's my favorite hot sauce, but it's because it have that vinegar flavor. Some people don't like it.
I don't mind vinegar. I just think in Tabasco it's kind of overpowering. I really like Cholula or Tapatio.
For me, it's too sweet.
Cholula?
The Cholula, the Tapatio, is too sweet for me. I like what we call pique. Pique is like...
Must mean something like spicy because like picoso?
Yeah, like picoso. So we don't call it chilies or chiles. We don't call it chiles in Puerto Rico.
Chile just means pepper, right?
Yeah. So when we make our hot sauce in Puerto Rico, we call it pique.
Oh, okay.
But our pique sauce is literally get whatever pepper you like. Like right now at my house, I got this pique that I created like 4 years ago. So it's been marinating for 4 years, dude. That thing is
shit.
You have a Reaper, you have a Ghost, and you have a jalapeno. You got those 3 peppers inside of a glass jar and vinegar. That's it. Close it, save it for 2-3 months, and then use it.
The reason that vinegar actually is used in so many hot sauces, I learned, is because it opens up your taste buds and forces your tongue to taste more.
Like the part of my culture of the Spaniards, there's a lot of vinegar in our food.
Oh, really?
And I love it. Like,
I suppose they do a lot of like ceviche and stuff like that, right?
Yes, but we like.
I guess that's more with citrus juices, right?
Yes, but there's different kind of like. Well, there's no different kind. There's the rice ceviche and there's the ron ceviche. I have never tried a real ceviche in a restaurant. Because a lot of people are afraid of the ceviche because you get the raw fish, raw shrimps, you got your raw seafood, and you put it in a glass container with citrus, onions, peppers, and you put it in your fridge overnight, and the acidity of the citrus will cook your food.
Right.
And then you eat it. A lot of people are really afraid of that. So what they do from the restaurants, And most here on the States, they boil your food and then they add the citrus sauce. But it's not the same.
That's weird. We actually, when we were at Elements, when I worked for Alex before we turned into Crave, they did like a real ceviche where they actually, it was just like lemon and lime juice was what was used to make it, and it would sit. I want to say that it sat in the walk-in more than at least 24 hours, but maybe 2 days or something.
A good 4 hours is okay.
Oh, okay.
Because you could eat raw fish.
Right.
So a good 4 hours is okay, but at least 24 hours is gonna take it to the next level. You know, it's more powerful. Like my ceviche, my flip. You know, like I told you, you make recipes your way. You know, I like to put oranges and I like to put grape juice. Like not grape. How you call those? Naranjas. Grapefruit.
Oh, grapefruit. Okay.
Yeah, grapefruit, but like squeeze grapefruit, squeeze orange, squeeze lemon, squeeze lime.
Because the fresh juices are always the best.
Yeah, and that orange and grapefruit juices together is really, really good. It gives a different kick.
It's really grapefruit, good. It smells so good, and those juices are good. But when you bite into the grapefruit, it's like, did someone just take a shit in my mouth?
So sour. But it's really good for you. It cut a bunch of your fat out of your body and everything.
There's a lot of omega-3s or something like that in grapefruit.
It is really good for you. They say that everybody should eat like half of one every morning, and it helps you to like release all your toxins away and stuff like that.
One of my heart pills that I take for cholesterol or whatever, it says not to drink a bunch of grapefruit juice and stuff like that with it. And I was asking one of my pharmacy friends about it, and he was saying, if I remember right, it was basically because like what's in like cholesterol pills is similar to like some of the stuff in grapefruit, so you could overdose.
Yeah. It is but like we have this thing called escabeche. It's kind of like a different twist.
Does that have anything to do with cabbage?
No.
I know a lot of Hispanic words are similar.
Yeah, but I don't know why this is called escabeche, but you basically, you don't boil it, but you in medium fire, you're gonna cook olive oil, vinegar, onions, black pepper, corns, and bay leaf. You let it cook and cook and cook and cook and cook. And then you could like boil seafood, or you could boil green bananas, or you could boil whatever you want. And you put it in a container and you dump that stuff on top of it. Dude, that's so good. The difference being it's just good. It's a weird thing. One day I'm gonna make it for you so you could try it. I haven't eaten it in so many years that last Sunday I just made me probably like 2 pounds of seafood.
Oh jeez.
Just ate it. I'm so glad my daughter is not picky. Like I raised my daughter to always try. So it doesn't bother me if she don't like something, but at least she always tries something.
Yeah.
And I feel so sorry for whoever date my daughter in the next 10 years because I don't need some money because that girl would. She know how to eat.
Some real food.
Yeah, she know how to eat. You can show up with with some KFC or
going to get the dollar menu.
Yeah. She actually could make her own sushi rolls.
Oh yeah, I actually saw that. That was one of the things that I saw. That was super cool.
She know how to cook. Every time she see me cook, it's funny because she do what I used to do with my mom. She see me cook and she jump there, and she loved when I go to my restaurants and stuff. She always go she's always been there. She feel comfortable inside a restaurant, no matter how chaos is going on. She's just looking. You saw her in in the prep area, when she would go and sit down there and just stare at you guys working and looking, and she would just come home and ask me questions, Daddy, like I saw this person doing this and this and this. Why he's doing that, and why he did that, and da da da. Just so she could soak the knowledge, and she just loved it. She always said, like, Daddy, when I grow up, we're gonna make a restaurant together. And I was like, I don't know if you want to be a chef, girl. Like, it's just a painful, happy thing, you know.
Like there gets to be that point where it's good, but it takes a lot of sacrifice to get up there. You know, it's like a real hard life for a lot of people.
It is, you know, and sometimes it's just like you need to love it so you could appreciate it and enjoy it.
Yes.
If you're doing it because you want to be cool and you're doing it because you want to make money, you're going to be miserable. Because first of all, before you get to the money, you're getting paid shit.
Yes.
And you're working 12, 14, 16 hours. You remember that Mother Day?
Where you worked like
when I worked 27 hours in a row?
Harrison? Oh, man. You guys were there for so long.
27 hours in a row. And yeah, but we break every record of Sioux Falls banquet, bro. Like,
yeah.
We destroy, like, it was insane. It was worth it. And half people come to me and say, "Oh, this is the best food I ever ate in my life, and da, 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 this is amazing, da, da, da." Let's make it worth it. I remember after it was done, I went upstairs to my room in the hotel, take a shower, get dressed. My sister actually fly from Texas that weekend here so she could take care of my daughter so I could work those 27 hours. And we got out of there. I remember we went to the movie theaters to see Dumbo, and Dumbo saw me sleep for 2 hours. I couldn't watch the movie. I just died. But it was fun, man. Like, cooking in that chaos and that stress, it's just like you become a stress junkie. It's just fun. It's just fun.
You know, I appreciate the stress more when I have help.
Yes.
When you're by yourself, the stress is like, I don't even let myself get stressed out that much anymore. Well, it happens. It happens.
But it's also, you got to see it this way. Even if you're by yourself and you stress out, but at the end, this is your kitchen, this is your restaurant, you won't mind.
Right.
You know when you mind? When you know that you stress out, but you know that they're taking advantage of you.
Right.
And they didn't put this helper because they don't want to pay the money. You know, and I always say, and my number one rule, and it's not that I have never been thinking I was a perfect chef all my life. There was a stage of my life that I was Gordon Ramsay. I was an asshole because I thought that was the right thing to do. You know, I fired some people from my kitchen that Gordon Ramsay was a baby next to stuff that I did.
Oh,
I have done stuff in the kitchen that now that I think I was like, man, I was an asshole.
God, that was fucked up.
But in your process, you learn that if you teach and you show by example and you there for people, that's when you make it. You know, like I always believe that my job as a chef was to teach you everything I knew. And I don't have to be afraid. A lot of people are afraid of teaching what they know or are afraid of giving you recipes or stuff like that because they're insecure. Oh, if I teach him, they're going to hire him and give him my job, and then they pay him less, so I'm going to lose my job. You know what? You're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your job. It is what it is. But if you teach that person everything you know, now your life is easier. Not to just lean back and don't do nothing, but now you got time to learn new tricks so you could teach them. And if you're always there, I always believe that if I make your life easier, you're making mine easier. And, you know, like, I always believe that I take care of all my staff. Like, I pay them well. I always believe dishwashers are the heart of the kitchen. A lot of people treat dishwasher like shit.
Oh yeah.
And I always believe they're the heart. You know, like you could be a badass cook if you don't got clean pots and plates, food ain't going out.
Fuck no.
You know, and a lot of people treat them bad. I always pay them really, really good. I pay people good, but that's how much I want back from you.
Right.
You know, I have never hired people like, well, you know, they told me everybody make $12 now. I actually do what you say that people should be able to do. I let people negotiate their money with me. Usually, very weird that I will give you exactly what you asked me for, but I will get there in a couple months.
Yeah, if you come in and prove what you
Yes.
say you can do, you'll get it.
Usually, I will sit down with you and you tell me like, oh man, like I want $18 an hour, and I will tell you, you know what? I'm not saying you don't worth $18 an hour, but I don't know you. You look very good. You interview very good. What about I give you $15 an hour, but I promise you that in 90 days, you show me what you got.
Stick around.
Stick around. I'll pay you $18 an hour if you're worth it.
Right.
And sometimes people worth it. Sometimes people won't get the $3 raise. They might get $1.50, and I will tell them like, you know what? I will give you $1.50. If you want the other $1.50, you have to fix this, and this, and use it as a way for them to motivate themselves and get better at it.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to take care of your people, and then the stress, because if you cooking and you got that stress, but you know that your boss did everything on his power, even roll on his own sleeve, and he's right there helping you, you'll be cool with it.
I've been very fortunate in the hotel to have always had a good kitchen boss. Like from Alex to you, Caesar, you've all been incredibly nice to me and like taking care of me. Always like any raise that you know what I mean? I'm still making what you got me at the end. I'm still helping out with all that stuff too, though.
When I got you that raise, I was crazy because that was a huge jump.
That was a huge jump.
And they didn't want her to do it. And I was like, this guy's been doing this forever. You guys have never given him a raise. This guy wake up every freaking day at 3 o'clock in the morning.
At that time I was getting up at 3:30.
3:30.
That's
right?
about when I get up now.
Yeah, and then you go there and you cook it. I didn't have to worry. Number one, I don't have to worry about is that person there. I knew that person was there.
The server might not show up, but Babo's gonna be there to call someone.
And I knew you were going to be there. I didn't know you at the moment. But you've been doing this for a while, so you must be at least you know how to flip those eggs. Because
anytime you hear that someone's been at the same restaurant for multiple years,
yeah, you know that at least he knows at least something.
Right.
So he's there. Then when I saw you, what exactly you were doing, I was like, these people are ripping this guy off. You know, like, and that's when I asked for the money, and I basically forced them to give you that money, but you deserve it. Like, you always have ideas. I remember when we were really, really tight that I didn't have no sous chef or no nothing, you offer yourself to help me out. And, you know, like, those people, you have to cultivate and you have to, like, garden those people because those are the people that make you or break you.
They still ask me to be a sous chef.
You know,
when I told Caesar, I was like, it's not really worth it for me to be a sous chef. I was like, I make good money per hour. I was like, you guys are going to need me more, and then overall I'm going to get less.
And your head now also is in spending time with your daughter and stuff like that.
Doing the podcast?
Yeah, I tell you, like, being a chef looked really beautiful in the TV and looked really beautiful from the outside. But I would say 90% of the chefs that I know at least have one divorce.
Oh, sure, because you're always away from your family.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the reason that I'm shifting to developing my own concepts and consulting and not being on the line of fire, even that I miss it a lot. But I'm not going to lose my daughter. You know, like, I want to see my daughter grow up. Like, I drop my daughter at school, I pick my daughter from school, like spend all this time with my daughter, like, and that's worth every penny that I'm not getting from the side of the other stuff. But like right now that I've been the time that I've been in South Dakota is finally starting to pay out. I'm starting to build in that network around me that pretty soon is gonna blow. And when it blow, I'll be okay. But I'll be okay on my own terms.
Right.
Like I'm not working 27 hours in a row again. And if I do, it's gonna be for me.
I think there's too many restaurants these days that they rely on the old heads too much to do all. It's like the stuff that we were doing when we were like 19 and 20 and like 25 is like, you should not be expecting like 40-year-olds and stuff to be doing that. Like they're expecting like these old men to do that. And like even I'm starting to get up there, you know what I mean? It's like I could still fucking cook a hell of a lot of food, but I'm definitely getting to that point where like, in a few years I'm not going to be able to just save everybody's day all the time.
And that's the crazy thing about this business. Like I've been in the burn stick, the run end of the burn stick a lot of times. Like
oh yeah,
a lot of people took advantage of me, of my knowledge, and go here, open this restaurant, and promise me this and that and that, and then never happened. But you learn. You get to a point that you learn, and that's why, as right now, like my thing is to keep developing that business in Madison. That I don't own it. I'm just her consultant. If you guys want to check it out, is go to madisonfresh.com. The place is called See and Taste, and taste. And but I'm helping her get to the point that she gonna not franchise because she will own it, but she will have multiple, because my job is to simplify that so much that it will be so easy just to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat.
Sure.
And sometimes you just have to like, you don't have to be the number one at everything.
No.
Just be good at what you do. And like a lot of people want to open a business and they want to come to Sioux Falls and right away and open. It's really hard. You're competing with the big dogs. You're competing with multi-million-dollar companies.
Sioux Falls actually has the highest amount of restaurants per capita in the whole country. That's fucking weird to me.
So it's hard. Just go to a tiny town. Make that town your town. Believe me, you're gonna make money. If you're good doing what you're doing, you're gonna make money.
Sure.
Even consulting, like I couldn't believe how much money you could get paid consulting somebody. And
there's a lot of people that kind of have maybe a basic idea or framework, but they don't necessarily know the inner workings of something. So they're like, well, if I find someone that does know, maybe between the two of us we can come up with something really cool.
And the crazy thing about this is that a lot of people that have the crash a restaurant, they open a restaurant, they got the money, they got all the willing, they got the dream, they even got the right concept. They don't know jack shit about restaurant. They don't know how to charge. They don't know how to price. They don't know that you don't throw nothing away. Everything has to be used. You cut peppers, the pretty peppers go on the plate. The peppers that you think are trash, no, you dice those and you put it on your pico or you do something. You don't waste nothing because everything costs cent.
Right.
And it might be 10 cents, but 10 cents through a year in multiple items times pounds and pounds and pounds talking about thousands and thousands of dollars.
Well, that's why they call the spatula, the nickname for that's the $1 million tool, because you can save $1 million by scraping all those sauces like over the course.
Sometimes you will get a cup or two out of the container that the guy want to drop in the dish. Oh, it's empty. I was like, are you sure it's empty? Come over here, man. Let me show you something. And you scrape everything, and you get like at least one cup. Well, one cup are talking about, what, 4 ramekins? 4 ramekins equal at least $40 worth of burgers that is going out with 1 ramekin each plate.
Right.
You know, it's all this money. Money is, you know, like, and the funny thing is that somebody will come and say, I need a raise, but they don't want to help you get their own raises. Like, they're throwing the mixing bowl without scraping it away. They go, your raise right there. They're throwing
that silverware.
the silverware go to the trash can. Boom, it go there. That's the number one money bleeder in a restaurant, silverware.
I believe it.
So, dude, like, talking about thousands of dollars at least every couple months.
And how many places just won't even invest in that fucking magnetic trash can cover?
Just $300. Just put that magnet on top of your trash can. It will stick in there. It won't go to. It's too expensive. Too expensive. $300 for that? Too expensive. But then they spend $900 every 3 months buying more and more and more, so they could keep throwing it away and away and away. I remember back in the 90s when. Not 90s. I wasn't working in the business in the 90s. Started to become too old. Early 2000s, when you could do a lot of stuff that you're not about to do now in a restaurant. I remember when they used to make us like it was called a fishing night, where the chef will get all the trash bags and dump it in a pool in a kiddie pool. All the trash, and it will make us go through the trash looking for silverware.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck.
Believe me, bro, you will never go silverware go away again, because you learn you don't want to go through the trash again. But if you do that now, the person that dig through that trash, you will own the business.
Yeah. I actually worked at a place where they started charging all the servers money to come to work every day, and that if at the end of the day all the silverware was there, they would get it back. Well, one of the servers actually was like, this is fucking illegal. You can't charge people for this. Like, it's a cost of operating a business, and you can fire people for throwing your silverware away, but you can't charge them money for that shit.
Back in the days, in the early 2000s, I remember a server sued Chili's because he claimed that he never took a break and they never pay him his break, and they force him to work during his break, when everybody that has been a server know that you don't want a break. You got a break of half an hour, you're losing money.
Right.
So because that person suing Chili's, that's why breaks came in the restaurant business.
Oh shit. Well, it's funny because like in South Dakota, being a right to work state, all these places say, "Oh, I don't have to give you a break," and it's like that's true. Anytime that you're not working a full shift in a job, you do not have to give them a break. You do have to provide bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
Like, you can't prevent them from going to the bathroom, or if they have like an accommodated medical condition, you have to accommodate that shit.
Before I was a chef, I remember my first job in a restaurant was a busboy. Month out of it, I was already a server. And then I was in Connecticut when that happened. Then I went back to Puerto Rico, and Romano's Macaroni Grill was opening.
I remember you telling me about that place.
One over there, and I went in as a server. I interviewed as a server, and before the opening was over, like all the people that came from the state to open it, they chose me as one of the captains. So I was in charge of like the other servers.
Sure.
And I would work for free. I didn't care. Like I will go to work the morning shift, clock out, and then I will work the night shift for free.
Just get tips.
Yeah. Who cares? I don't want my $2 an hour. Who cares? Oh, you robbed me $10, but I'm going home with $300 worth of tip. You know, like who cares? So I make $300 a night and $150 in the morning shift. Going home with a $450 in 2000. That was a lot of money.
That's a lot of fucking hell. That's good money now in
Yeah.
one day.
So, but like now it's impossible to do something like that because companies are afraid. They won't do it. They won't risk it. You know, because somebody, the day that you do something wrong, they will sue you. You know, so they don't do it anymore. But like that's how I learned, because I will stay for free, walking around with the managers like, what are you doing? What are you doing that for? How do you do that? Can I do it? And just learn and learn. And all my friends used to make fun of me. It's like, dude, like, they're playing you. You're such a sucker, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I have a plan. I was like, watch me, bro. Just give me a break. And I always loved food. When I was in college, I was selling food on my dorm. So I knew how to cook. And one of my technique as a server, to be a good server, whenever I have a free time, I will go to the line, you know, to the expo, just stare at the cooks when they were cooking and just learn step by step how they were cooking.
Sure.
And then I will use that as a sale method on the table. People will buy whatever I tell them to buy because I will make you fall in love. Like it's like, what do you recommend? Oh man, you should eat this penne rustica, you know, so awesome.
What's that called?
A penne rustica. It's like a rusty penne.
Okay.
It was like the top seller for the restaurant. But I remember that plate was like $15. By the time that I sell it to you, you were paying like 24.
For upcharges and
Upcharges and this and that and that. But the way that I describe it to you, I was step by step cooking the plate in the description. By the time that I was done, I was like, yeah, I want that.
I want that too.
and so I learned how to cook every single plate. So I remember a sous chef broke a leg. So he couldn't work. So they offered me to work as an expo and cover his shift because I already knew the food. And I did it. And the GM and the people from the corporation were in love with me because I knew the food and I was really vocal and I was selling good. And TGI Fridays, I went to an interview. I went there and I lied to them. I told them that, yes, I've been a chef for this many, many years, and the interview, blah, blah. And they want to hire me. I was like, fuck. So I went to, I'm really loyal, man. I went back to my job and I told Carlos Solis, to today, rest in peace, that's my man. That's the guy that gave me an opportunity, the guy that made me an executive chef, the guy that teach me all the tricks of a restaurant. And I told him, like, hey, Carlos, GF Friday offered me to be the chef, but I don't want to go. He's like, get the fuck out of here, go. But I work for you, man. I love working for you. It's like, yeah, but I cannot make you chef right now. I don't have a position for you. Go get it. But promise me something. I was like, what do you want? The day that I call you that I need you, you coming back, and you're like, you fucking know it. So I went there, did a year or two experience, got that Funko. Hey, he was the coolest guy ever. He was a guy from Nicaragua.
Okay.
That grew up in Miami with all the Cubans. So he would talk to you like Scarface, you know, like, oh, dude, like all the first couple of years of my life, I always thought he was Cuban. And then he just got that accent. And he called me, he's like, hey, ¿qué bola, chico, man? What you doing, man? It's like, I'm working, man. I was like, it's about that time. I need you, bro. Come on. Okay, I got you. Give me a couple of weeks. So I quit, went back, and I was the chef over here. I go there, he made me a sous chef.
Because he was the chef, right?
He was the GM.
Oh, okay.
But before he was the GM of that restaurant, he was executive chef of many, many macaroni grills in the United States. They brought him to Puerto Rico because the Puerto Rico restaurant was the monster of the company. We were the number one seller of
Holy
the company.
shit.
Like right now, most of the restaurants, actually, I believe like all of them in the United States are closed. The Puerto Rico one's still open, and the ones in the Middle East still open.
Oh, geez.
Those one on the Middle East, when the Middle Eastern people wanted to invest in the company, take it there, they came to the one in Puerto Rico because they wanted them to see how busy we were. Because they take it to the one in the States, we're not that busy. But I went there and as a sous chef, and I worked with him as a sous chef, and the same story happened again. I went on vacation to visit my sister in Houston one time, and I sit down in the Cheesecake Factory as a guest. I was just there to eat. I went to visit my sister for a weekend because I wanted to see a show from the Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, nice.
And I'm eating there, and I seen the operation. Like it's just the way that I am. When I go to a restaurant, I like to observe and look, and I see the operation. I fall in love with that restaurant. The way that they operate, it was just the perfect restaurant. 2-story restaurant. I went there in the summer. I think it was July. I remember I told my ex-wife, I told her, I'm going to be the chef from this place. She laughed. Everybody laughed at the table. Like, dude, you're already a chef in Puerto Rico. What are you talking about? I was like, no, I'm going to be a chef here. April Fool's Day, very next year, I was the chef from that restaurant.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it happens, and it was just meant to be, because when I moved to Houston, I didn't have that pan out or nothing. I have like an interview with a different company in the phone.
Okay.
I phone interview with Cracker Barrel, and I moved, and I got the test and everything, and they want to hire me. And Cheesecake Factory called me to offer me a phone interview the day that I was about to sign the contract with Cracker Barrel. and I told the lady, thank you for everything. I'm not going to sign it. She said, you need more money? What is it? Da, da, da. I was like, no, I just got an interview with Cheesecake Factory. I'm just going to go with them. She's like, what do you mean you got an interview? Yeah, they just called me. They're going to do my first interview tomorrow. She's like, you have the job. It's an interview. It's no guarantee. I was like, you just hire me, right? And she's like, yeah, they will too. So I just left. And I got a phone interview, kick ass on it. They arranged this online test, took the test. I went and interview, a second interview with the DO, with the director of operation person. He made a big mistake during the interview. He told me that he was really excited to interview me because they haven't had such a higher score in a test in so many years. And it was really interesting to see what I got. So I interviewed with him, knocked it out of the park. He offered me a job right on the spot. And he told me, we're going to pay you this much. And I was like, no, I want this much. It's like, I don't think we could do that. I could offer you this. This is what we pay. And I was like, like you told me how great I did in my test, like how much above I am, blah, blah. And this is how much I think I'm worth. And if it's not this, no hard feelings. Thank you for your interview. I have shake his hand. I was just like bluffing and gambling and everything right there. And I left. I think like a day or two later, he called me. He's like, I got you your money. You better be worth it. And I worked for them for a while, and people that I met there made contacts with other people from North Carolina, and That's when I got hired to open restaurants around in Texas. This other company, they hired me, and there's like to open a restaurant in Houston, then in Corpus, then in Austin. Just like traveling. It's been a fun ride,
Dude. I mean, fuck.
it's been a goddamn fun ride.
Lots of stops, lots of cool stops.
And doing what you like. I wish somebody told me this before my $117,000 in student loans that I have that have nothing to do with this. I wish somebody told me, like, hey, Edgar, that thing that you like to do, cook, you could live out of it. Get out. Don't study that. Because I went to school to be a doctor.
Oh, geez.
And I have a degree in biology. And I figured out that I hate this. I'm germaphobe. Can't deal with sick people. I stopped breathing. Nobody choose. It's a mechanism. Like, I block. Like, if I got a person that I don't know next to me bleeding and stuff, I think I'm gonna get sick by smelling them.
Sorry, they're gonna die.
and that's what I was. I was like, if I become a doctor, everybody's dying because I'm not touching nobody.
Dr. Death.
Yeah. So I went, and I was really good in art, really good drawer all my life. So I went to an art school. Remember, went there, interview with the dean of art department. He asked me for my portfolio, and I was like, what? It's your art portfolio, like all your works. And I was like, I don't have one. Can you draw? It's like, hell yeah, I can draw. So he gave me a piece of paper and a pencil. I went outside. I remember my friend JJ, he drive me to that interview. And I was like, dude, I need to draw something. What did I do? I remember I took the CD from that movie, do you remember that cartoon movie Tarzan?
Yeah, the Disney movie?
The Disney movie? That was that back then when that movie came out. So he got the soundtrack, the CD, in the car, and I saw it. I was like, that looks pretty cool. So that's what I draw. I draw Tarzan. I gave it to this guy. He got me into school with that stupid drawing.
That's cool.
And I don't know, bro. Like, when my mom passed away really young, she was like, I believe she was 47, really young.
Oh, wow.
Cancer. And she always told me that always do what makes you happy. And I have done so many stuff in my life. Like, I wanted to direct movies, so I took a course on being a director. I direct a play when I was in college. Like, I write a play and I direct it. I used to have a clothing line that I used to like design the clothes and cut it. I didn't know how to sew, but I would pay a lady to sew it for me. And we were selling clothes to all these beer companies. Like the clothes that they use like on the bars, the girls, like all that tight clothes and pretty stuff for Budweiser, like any brand that you could imagine. I make clothes for them with my first wife. Like, I married my best friend. When my first wife was my best friend, and then in the process of it, figured out we were more friend than.
Oh.
So we're still friends today.
Mutual separation, then. That's cool.
Handshake. We're still good friends today. Like, but we have that business. It was called Aphrodite.com.
Oh, okay.
And we sell clothes, and I did it because I enjoyed it, and I cooked because I enjoyed it, and I got my degree in art because I enjoyed it. And then when I finished, I was like, what am I gonna do with this? Wait for somebody to buy art? So then I have a master in business. And then when I finish all that, I'm like all into this dev, but I was already a chef when I was done. And I was like, I remember telling Jennifer, my first wife, like, well, I guess I have to quit the restaurant to get me a real job. She's like, what do you mean a real job? You have a real job. You make money. You pay bills. You're a chef. You do what you love. And I was like, I guess you're right. Fuck, this is what I'm doing. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Wish I knew fucking 10 years ago. I spent like 8 years in college.
It's a long time.
Yeah. And I hate it because all that money, but I also love it because I learned so many things, and I mingle with so many people, and I could sit down in a table with doctors and I don't feel stupid. And I could feel down with business people and talk, and I don't feel stupid because I got a master in business like they do, like, and yeah, it helped me to think I use my art when I cook, when I'm plating, when I'm mixing colors, when I'm creating menus, I'm using my art. And I use some science stuff in the kitchen too. Like it have helped me, but it sucks that it costs so much in America to study.
Yeah. The science thing, so do you remember a day when you told me the difference between cooking and baking?
Yeah.
It was like when cooking, you don't have to follow the recipe. Like you can experiment with it.
You can experiment
but
with it.
Baking, it's a science. You need to fucking do it right.
Baking is chemistry. If you don't follow that recipe to the T, you're gonna fail. So you cannot improvise. You could follow the recipe and eventually tweak it, but you're gonna fail on the process of tweaking it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the baking powder is there for a reason, the baking soda is there for a reason, the salt is there for a reason, the sugar. Like a lot of desserts have salt on it. It's in purpose, because the salt and the sugar together activate
It's
stuff.
sweet and savory.
Yeah, and sometimes you need a little bit of the salt to activate the baking powder and stuff like that. And I remember this girl one time. I hired this girl. She was a family member, not my family, but she was related to my wife. And we told her, "You don't want to work for me, because I will fire you if I have to. Doesn't matter who you are, I will fire you." Yeah, I did fire her. But I remember she needed to do banana bread. And then each recipe of banana bread have 3 ounces of salt. And
in a loaf?
No, because a recipe will make 10 loaves.
Okay.
And each recipe will have 3 ounces of salt. And I told her, you need to make 10 recipes. So we got 8 ovens making bread for the entire school. So she put 3 pounds of salt in each recipe. That's a whole case of kosher salt. And in my head, I was like, when you're prepping the recipe to make 10 loaves, and you are actually using more salt than flour, at what point you think that's okay?
What did it look like when it came out of the oven?
It exploded.
Oh, all the...
Exploded. I'm in my office.
It actually blew up?
Yes. I'm in my office with her husband. They used to work for me too. We're working paperwork to create some menus and stuff. And out of nowhere, we hear this boom. And we're like, what the fuck was that? So we run to the kitchen. All the doors, all the convection doors are open, and it's boiling. Coming out of the oven. I'm like, I look at it. I look at her husband, Kenny. I look at her. I look at Kenny. Just clean this. And I left. I just left. I was like, I don't even want to know. Next day I asked what the fuck happened. I was like, you're making dessert. What were you thinking? Freaking 3 pounds of salt is okay in a dessert. But people don't want to ask because they don't want to seem stupid.
I fucking went through a phase like that, and when I was first learning how to cook, I didn't want to seem stupid because I didn't want to lose my job.
But you know what? Us as chef, we appreciate the person that asked the question because we know this person cared enough to come and ask that stupid question. But the stupidest question is the one that you don't ask, because then you're going to make the mistake. Because you assume, and when you assume, you make an ass of yourself.
Absolutely.
So
I had a boss that taught me that too. As soon as I was like, all right, I'm just going to ask any question, even if I think it's dumb.
Yeah, because I'd rather you asking me the question, no matter how dumb the question is, because you care of the final product that you're doing. If you ask me the same dumb question every freaking day, then I know you're just dumb. But if you come and ask a dumb question and you care, man, awesome for you. You care of what you're doing. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm getting paid here. I'm getting paid to teach you. I'm not getting paid to judge you or nothing like that. They're paying me to teach you and get you to a next level, to develop you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate and I ask a lot of questions. And like going back to my first boss, Carlos, when he helped me identify one of my biggest problems is that my brain is always thinking ahead.
Same.
So I'm here, but I'm like 10 days ahead. and that is bad for you because then you forget a lot of things.
For real.
So I used to like tell him like, hey, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this, and then he will hold me accountable. Like he would sit me down a month later. Hey, you told me you were going to do this and you didn't do it. You told me you were going to do this and you didn't do it. You did this and you did this, but then you didn't do this and this and this. And you told me you were going to. I just didn't remember. Sorry, my bad. You actually didn't need it to do it, but you told me you were going to. And you failed. And he teach me that don't tell people what you're going to do, just do it and show them what you do.
If you promise too much, you look like an ass when you don't deliver.
Yeah. And he showed me a system that I still use to today. I don't know if I ever show you that at Grave. I don't know if you ever saw that I was always carrying a little piece of paper and I would write everything there. I would do like a triangle and then write the thing next to it.
Okay.
I call it the Delta system, and I do it. Get an index card. I do a triangle. Do the grocery. Triangle. Broken pipe in Babo's kitchen. I do a triangle. I need to give Carlos a raise. If I start working in the problem, I do a circle around the triangle. Once the problem is fixed, I paint the circle. Now it's a dot. The dot means it got done.
Okay.
The next day, everything that was done won't pass to the new paper. Just the undone stuff passed to the new paper. And every day I'm writing down everything. I'm holding myself accountable because I know that I will forget it. If you identify your weakness, you become strong. If you are such an arrogant that you believe that you got no weakness, you're really weak.
Sure. I always try to tell people, you gotta admit that you make mistakes because everybody fucking makes them.
and don't get me wrong. A lot of times, people that don't know me, really know me, will say you're cocky, you're arrogant. And I'm like, once they know me, they understand that it's not being cocky, it's not being an arrogant, it's being secure. Like, I know what I could do. And I'm good at it. But I'm not an asshole, not because I know I keep it to myself. I love teaching people. Like, I wish I could, like, get paid to just teach, you know. I love that. And I most of the places, and you saw it firsthand, how many people I took from the line and I make them chef and I make them managers. You see what I did with Maddie. I took her out of being a host, make her a manager. Like,
oh yeah,
she went from making like $12 an hour to $50,000 a year just because Courtney
owns her own fucking business now. Well, her and that Kai's lady or whatever, but like they own their business together.
They own their own business. She was a server when I got to that place. I identified this girl. She have what you need to be successful. And I push and push to make her a manager. And it was hard because she was 18.
Oh, I didn't realize she was that young.
Yeah. And everybody's like, Edgar, are you crazy? You're not going to make this 18-year-old girl. And I was like, she's more responsible than everybody else. She's always here on time. She know her shit. She get it done. All these adults come drunk, don't show up, don't know their shit, don't care about their shit. And they gave her the opportunity. And she ended up being the top boss. And now she got her own business.
She did really good.
She's a 21-year-old girl with her own business in town.
Not to mention, she's like one of the nicest people I've ever met.
And
like,
she's
genuinely nice.
And beautiful. Great
That's always
combination.
helpful.
You know, like, like she have like we actually went out like about a week ago, and I was telling her like how proud I am from her. You know, like we stay in a lot of communication. We're good friends, me,
Good.
her, and Sarah, and I always tell her like I'm so proud of you. You got no idea where you at right now. On business, smart, driven, beautiful. This town is yours. You could get wherever you want to. Just keep going. Don't let it fall.
Prime location, being
Yeah.
in downtown, that's the place to start.
You know, and what they're doing, they're
It's
the only ones.
interesting. It's interesting.
They're and then we're gonna get you the name, and we're gonna put it right here because I forgot. I know it's Prairie something.
Prairie Cocoa and Confection, I want to
Yeah,
say.
Prairie Cocoa Confection, and we're gonna put a shout out for them. They're awesome. Go there, try what they're doing. Their do stuff is basically desserts. They do these desserts that you feel guilty of eating your dessert because they're so badass looking. You know, like
They got like cookie cups and stuff like that. Cool things like that is what I was seeing.
what they could do whatever. Like legit. You see their stuff and you don't want to eat it because it's so pretty.
Everything that I saw looked really good.
Yeah, they're kicking ass. They're pretty good. And you know she's really humble and she calls and she asks questions and how can I do this and what do you think about that? Do you think I should do this? And you know like seeing people that want to learn and grow and get to the next step but are humble enough to ask for the help, man, that's awesome. And that's how you get to places. You know, like you got this Mark Cuban and all these people. You think they got there being arrogant and thinking they knew everything?
Definitely not.
Oh, they surround themselves with a good team that will get them there. It's just the way you do it. You can't do it by yourself. I tried to do it myself. I wouldn't let nobody help me in the kitchen. When Chet was hitting the fan, I do it. Give me that. And I tried to cook, and I'm like, I couldn't. Then I figured it out that if I teach everybody how to do it, now we could all do it. And we getting burned in the kitchen, and I'm back there cooking with my guys and singing and having fun, and you saw it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like all singing and going all crazy. But when they were going down, I was right next to them cooking with them. I might not cook all day long with them, but when they need me, I was right there because they need to know that you're there. They need to know that you could do what they do. So that way they know that if you fuck it up, I could get you out. I could do what you do, and I'm going to do it better. So you better do it right.
Right.
And if you need my help, I'm here. I only got 2 rules in the kitchen. Don't lie to me. Don't steal from me.
Hey, that's pretty fair.
That's about it. If you lie to me, I can't trust you. You lie to me, can't trust you. And if I can trust you, you cannot work for me. That's about it. If you're hungry, don't steal steak from me. Ask me. I might get you a whole meal for your entire family. And I did it many times. And I've done it many, many times in different restaurants. When I have somebody that will tell me like, dude, like, I would love to come and eat it. Can I try this steak? I have never tried that. I don't have the money to try it or whatever. And I'll be like, you know what? No. But do me a favor. Go home, get your wife, get your kids. Come tonight. It's on me. And I will invite the entire family. And it's fair. But you steal the steak from me, I cannot trust you.
Right.
Even if you have to feed your family, you should have come to me. I could have helped you, you know? And maybe I hook up your family today with a meal, but if you start coming every Friday, it's like, hey, can I bring my wife and my kids? Can I bring my wife and my kids every Friday? I might be like, hey, dude, like, you know, there's other people that we have to do this special night for, not just you.
Right.
But yeah, like, always have your people try your food. Always have your people enjoy a night with their family. You know, at the end, you throw more money in the trash can in a restaurant than when you actually giving it away to that family in a table.
Right.
You know, like, and there's a lot of greedy people out there that they won't do that for their employees. And you know, like, they're gonna be your best ambassador. You teach people with kindness. You invite them. You let them eat your food. They enjoy working for you. They're gonna be promoting your restaurant 24/7. And I know because I was that person.
Right.
Because when Carlos made me a chef, it was so awesome working for them. This guy died 10 years ago. And everybody that worked in that restaurant with me, there were like over 200 employees. Nobody can talk shit about him. Until today, people still post, rest in peace, Carlos. Carlos, you're the man. Because he teaches so much, and we enjoy working for him so much that we would go out of there and tell everybody, oh man, you gotta go to my restaurant. It's so awesome, and recruit people to come and work with us because it was awesome. You're not gonna recruit nobody to come and work for you with you if you hate your job.
Right.
You know, I always tell people when people tell me like, oh man, like we need help, I was like, go find me somebody, because they're not gonna hold that person accountable with you. You know, you bring somebody, make sure you bring somebody that is worth working with it, because you're gonna be the one standing right next to it. So if you bring if you bring a baked potato to work with you, like, that's on you. Now you have to work with that baked potato. You know, it's your own fault. You did it.
Right.
So now deal with it. Don't. I learned from this other dude in Texas one time. I don't know if he was lazy or he was just smart. One day he's like, you know, Edgar, stop bringing so many problems. Bring me solutions. I was like, what? Like, yeah. So glad you keep identifying all these problems, but when you bring me problem, I want you to bring me 3 solutions to it too. I was like, all right, I'm down. I'll do that. And it was good because he helped me develop that skill. Now when I see a problem, I'm already thinking in the solution. And now that I'm consulting people, I'm already projecting problems.
Problems that haven't even happened yet.
The place is not even open, and I'm already projecting problems, and I'm already fixing those problems in my head. I was like, man, maybe this is gonna happen, so maybe we do this and this and this, so that doesn't happen, and it's perfect. I would have never get that skill with that guy telling me, stop bringing me problems, bring me solutions. You know, maybe some other dude would be like, fucking asshole, man, he doesn't want to do his job. Like, he just want me to do his job. No, he was developing me to become a better chef. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, sometimes, like, the people that I ask the most is the people that I know that they're good. Like when I was with you, not because this is your podcast and because I'm here or because I'm your friend, but you experience that. Like how I'll go to you and be like, hey, Bob, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And you always have a yes for it. And somebody else would think like, fucking asshole want me to do all his job. You were taking it because I know you were doing it as like, I'm learning. I remember you like, hey, I could do this order for you if you want me to. Like, and I would ask you for the input on change in the menu because you're the one working it.
Right.
You know, by the time that I got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, you already served 25, 40 people. You know, like, everybody ate by then. So, I don't know. You're the one who knows because you're the one experimenting. And that's the thing that chef needs to understand. Like, be humble. Learn from everybody. I have learned from dishwasher. I have learned from delivery people. Like, sometimes the guy that is working for Cisco or for US Food and he's your vendor, guess what? Maybe he used to be a chef. Now he's doing that so he could spend more time with his kids.
Right. Lots of people do that.
Yeah. And they know shit. You know, like, I'm pretty sure I teach you how to cut peppers my way because that's my thing. I always teach people how to cut peppers. But I learned how to cut peppers from a dishwasher. So I used to cut pepper probably the way that most of the people cut them. You know, like, get the pepper and go like,
right,
and then throw all that stuff away. And I remember this dishwasher always staring at me when I was cutting peppers. So what the hell this guy is looking at? And he would like look at me and do that face of like, he was so disappointed of me. Until one day I was like, his name was Oscar. I was like, hey Oscar, come here. It's like, what? Why are you so disappointed with the way I cut peppers? It's like, oh no, it's okay, chef. Don't worry about it. You're the chef. It's like, no, bro. Like, obviously you want to teach me something. I'm not upset. Just teach me. Like, why do you want to teach me? Like, okay, can I have the knife? Motherfucker was like, damn. It's like, those are perfect. They look perfect. They're perfect. You didn't waste nothing. You just throw away the stain on the seeds. And I asked her, like, where are you learning to cut that? Like, I used to work in this Mexican restaurant. I used to cut hundreds of pounds of peppers a day.
Pico and salsa.
Yeah. and that day I learned that you could learn something from the least expected person. And your goal in life, not just in the restaurant, your goal in life should be always to learn something. The day that you don't have to learn something, then you could die. It's okay. You know everything. So what's the point? You know everything. There's no point of being here. It's boring. I know everything. You know. So I love learning. And with these kids these days, you learn so many stuff every day. You know, like it is fun to be a parent, you know.
I think the coolest thing is something I should have started learning a long time ago was Spanish. Like, I downloaded that Duolingo app because there was the night cleaner. His name is Carlos, and he was like, "Do you speak any Spanish?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, you should learn." And I was like, and he told me about how he had just started learning English like 3 months before that, and he was able to like talk to me and stuff. And I was like, "This guy's taking the time to learn our language." You know,
it is, and you know, a lot of the things that I think Spanish speaking people will throw themselves to speak English faster because it's a necessity for them. For us in Puerto Rico, we're blessed because we get teach English in school since kindergarten.
Oh,
you know, and it's actually like some of the paperwork and everything is our English. English is weird, but English is the law in Puerto Rico. We don't have to talk it, but a lot of the important papers are in English and stuff like that.
Okay.
And a lot of your books in school are in English, and it's really sad that there's a lot of people in Puerto Rico that still don't want to learn it and still don't talk it.
English or Spanish?
English.
Oh, okay.
And they don't know how awesome it is actually to learn and how much it will help you in the future. In my case, my mom, she was raised in the Bronx, so she was like a New Yorican, you know.
Oh.
And she always teaches English, and we got cable TV at home, and you know, we always got English in my house, but we were kind of afraid of talking it. I don't know why, but the Mexicans or other people from other countries that don't learn it at school, they force themselves to do it because they need it as a necessity so they could get a job.
Right.
And I wish people understand because I don't care because sometimes people make fun of my accent. And I was like, dude, you know how many girls I go out because my accent back when I was a teenager, I was like, oh, you got such a cute accent. You know, good.
Well, I think it's actually kind of funny because when I first met you, you didn't say a word. Alex just like brought you up to me, and I was like, "Your name was." He had told me that this new chef's name was Edgar, and then I met you, and I thought you were black as fuck.
Yeah, everybody.
Like super, super black. I was like, "Oh shit!" And then you started talking, and I was like, "Oh, he's Hispanic." Oh, holy shit!
It happened to me a lot.
Judge a book by its cover, man.
I remember when I went to do my training for a Cheesecake Factory in Texas. So all this like. Usually I do that a lot, and I did it at Crave, I guess. Usually I don't talk for the first couple of days. I don't talk. I just walk around, say hi to people, say hi, and that's it. I walk around and I'm observing, just like soaking everything and looking. And I did the same thing in this Cheesecake Factory, and all the Latino people were talking smack about me, like, oh, this fucking asshole, look at him. Blah, blah, like, oh, I think he sucks. And da, 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 da. And I remember like 3 days later, during the shift meeting, we do a shift meeting every morning. During the shift meeting, the manager, he was Latino, Chewy. He's like, oh, today Edgar is going to do the shift meeting. Da, da, da. Edgar, go ahead, do the shift meeting. Started doing the shift meeting in Spanish. Dude, everybody's faces went like... And when I finished, I was like, all right, motherfuckers. I know everything you were saying about me a couple days ago, man. And everybody was like, oh, like, there was this guy, like, his name was Cesar. I will never forget, because he was the one that talked the most shit. But then he became a good friend of me. And he looked at me and was like, I thought you were black. But, you know, like, I wish people understand the struggle of speaking two languages. You know, like, we think in different language. You know, like.
You think in Spanish, right? In your head?
Depends.
Just situationally?
Yes.
By default, though.
If I'm not surrounded by nobody that speaks Spanish, I start thinking in English.
Oh.
But if I talk Spanish with somebody, I will be thinking Spanish for a while.
Okay.
And it kind of like adjusts and go back and forward. And Puerto Rican Spanish is really lazy. Like, we cut letters, and every other Latin community make fun of us.
Really?
Yeah. And we do the same thing with English. Like, if I actually pay attention of what I'm talking and saying,
Mm-hmm.
my accent is gone. You know, I'll be like, hey, hi. I'll be like, hello, my name is Mark. How you doing? I actually enjoy this place a lot. But, you know, like, when I start talking and I enjoy my conversation and stuff, I make the same mistake that I do in Spanish, and I start cutting letters and just talking really fast, and that's when the accent come out. But it worked on my goods. Like, people seems to like it, and I like it. I think it's part of who I am, and
Sure.
and it's fun, you know. Like, but it's pretty cool, you know. Like, sometimes people will like try to make fun of you because you will say something in a different accent, or you will say a word different, you know, because a lot of words in Spanish has gender.
That was actually really hard for me to learn.
And sometimes you will say it in English thinking it's the same way, but it's not, and you just say something really, really stupid. You know?
Right. I've found that that's my biggest downfall is I'm not comfortable carrying on a conversation because I don't know all the connecting words.
But if you know that us as Latin community, we rarely make fun. There'll be assholes that will do, but the majority of the Spanish speaker people, when you guys go on vacation and you talk your Spanish, it doesn't matter how bad it is. If we see you trying, we appreciate that.
That's good to know.
And we actually love it.
I've also, another problem I've run into, Hispanic women don't find curse words as funny as white people do.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Holy, like, I didn't realize, well, if I would joke around, like, we're talking, like, shit right now, you know, but, like, if I were to say, like, oh, pendejo, or fuck mierda, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, they don't like that.
But it's also because it's coming from the white guy.
Oh. So they might think that someone's making fun of Spanish.
Or that you're trying to be disrespectful to them. Because it's a complex.
Right.
Of inferiority.
That makes sense. I did learn that specifically, like, curse words between, like, two bros speaking in Spanish is different. Like, oh, you pinche miate, or whatever you might
and
say.
the funny thing is, like, when I moved to Texas, most of the Latinos in Texas are either from Mexico, Salvador, or Guatemala.
Right.
And each of those speak different Spanish. And in Puerto Rico, we speak different Spanish.
Then all three of them?
Yes.
Oh. Jesus.
Some of my words don't mean the same over there.
Oh, yes.
So, and then Texas Spanish is a mix between those three people. So I go there and I start talking to these people, like the word ahorita. In Puerto Rico, ahorita mean like later.
Okay.
Ahora in Puerto Rico means right now.
Okay.
In Mexico, ahorita mean like right away. But in Puerto Rico mean later. So I'm telling this guy, hey, do me a favor, go and get this trash can and throw this away and da da da. Yeah, ahorita lo hago. Like, I would. He's telling me I'm doing it right now, but in my head, my Spanish register is like, I'll do it in a minute. I was like, no, I need you to do it right now. It's like, yeah, ahorita lo hago. No, ahorita, right now. Yeah, ahorita lo hago. This is a motherfucker. I say like right now. Until I go like, hold on. What do ahorita mean for you? Like right away. Oh no, bro, in Puerto Rico mean like in 10 minutes. And I was like, this motherfucker's telling me he's not gonna do what I'm telling him to do. And then the word zafacón mean trash can in Puerto Rico.
What is it?
Zafacón.
Okay.
Mean trash can in Puerto Rico. Mexico doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't even exist. They call bote de basura.
Oh, that's long.
Like the word is bote.
Oh, okay.
And then basura is trash.
De basura.
Yeah, so is the can for the trash. That's
Okay.
what it, bote de basura mean can for the trash in Mexico. In Puerto Rico, the word bote mean boat. So why would I know that a boat, a sailing boat, for me means trash can in Mexico?
Sure.
So I'm telling this guy, hey, agarra el zafacón y bota la basura. That in Puerto Rico, I'm telling him, grab the trash can and discard the trash. The guy's like, okay, I got you. We already figured it out, the ahorita word. So he said like, okay, ahorita. So I was like, okay, he's going to take care of it. And I go and I do other stuff and I come around, the trash still there. It's like, fuck, are we going back to this ahorita shit again? So I call the guy, he's like, bro, agarra el zafacón, bota la basura. Grab the trash can, throw the trash away. Yeah, ahorita. Motherfucker is like messing with me. Give him a couple more minutes, come back again, trash still there. Call him again, bro, come here. Are you understanding what I'm saying? No, chef. It's like, what do you mean? And then he's like, what does zafacón mean? I was like, Dad, el bote. I was like, bote is a boat. So it took me like a good 3 months of learning like Texan Spanish so I could communicate good with them. Like they have microphones in Cheesecake Factory. In the one in Texas, that restaurant, I don't know if you know the numbers that some restaurants do, but like that Cheesecake Factory is the top selling restaurant I ever worked in my life. That's the Cheesecake Factory in a Houston Galleria Mall. $19 million a year.
It's a lot.
Yeah, 2 kitchens.
I remember when they were making a big deal about when Elements on our last year, like they said we were on par to do like 5. And then the first year with Crave, we did like 8 or 9 or something like that. And I was like, oh, shit.
So multiply that times 4. That was Cheesecake Factory.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of business. 2 kitchens, 2 floors, up and down, helping. You know, imagine, when we were going down that I was helping the guys cook. Imagine me doing that in 2 kitchens. Like I would run upstairs, I help the guys. Okay, everything's ready. Let me go downstairs now. And run downstairs and help. Like, dude, by the end of the day, like I was so skinny back then. But it took me time to learn that Spanish, but I took the time and I learned it, and that's the thing. Like we as Latinos, and you guys do the effort, we appreciate it. Some people, depending where they're coming from, they barely have interaction with Americans, and sometimes it's ignorance. They would think Americans are bad people, and they are. They are not. Americans are bad people.
There are bad Americans.
They're bad Americans. They're bad Puerto Ricans. They're bad Mexicans. They're bad Nicaraguans. They're bad people everywhere because we're humans. They're good humans and they're bad humans.
Absolutely.
And sometimes they will listen to a story and they will like think everybody's the same. Like they will listen to you joking, saying a word that between you and me, same thing. Like we will make jokes that, like 10 years ago, you make a gay joke, and
I actually realized that I said the wrong word earlier.
The what?
I actually realized I just said the wrong curse word earlier.
Which one?
I'm not gonna say it again. The one I said after pinche earlier.
Mayate?
Yeah, that's a really bad word. Like that's a bad word for black people. I meant to say
No,
cabron.
Mayate, for what I believe, pinche Mayate will mean like fucking. I think Mayate is like a bad word for gay.
Oh, I thought that was maricon.
That's one of them too.
Okay, or joto.
Oh,
That's
joto.
not
Yeah,
like,
it's
that's not a bad word.
Yeah, like joto, maricon, like, but maricon is for like a different country. Like it's just a
Oh.
lot of things. Like the word bicho. In probably 90% of the country, I think the only place that bicho mean penis is in Puerto Rico. Every other country that speaks Spanish, bicho is a bug.
Okay.
So people will be walking around and like, this bicho bite my mouth. For me in Spanish, that's like, this penis touched my mouth. You know, like I would start laughing. And they're like, what's wrong with you? And when they explained to me that it means bugs, I was like, oh, okay.
I've been trying really hard to speak correctly and not say the wrong words in those respects and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because it's like you hanging out with your homies. You know, like you can't drop some words in front of everybody, even
Right.
if they're your friends.
right.
You know, like you know who to drop those words with. You know, it's like the whole N word. You know, like how their codes. Like it's okay if we say it here. It's okay if some Puerto Ricans say it if they grow up in the hood. Or I just don't get it. Like so, I stay away from it. Like I don't say it because I don't know. I don't know when it's politically correct to say it. So
Right.
I just don't say it.
Right.
You know, but like sometimes, like I will be talking to a friend, and he would jokingly call me spick, like, "Hey, what's up, you spick?" And, you know, like that's like the N word for Latino.
Right.
But I know we're joking. But you know, like generations keep passing, and now those stuff every year is so much tougher. Like how it was okay for people to make fun of gay people in TV 10 years ago.
Right.
You know, stereotype and make this like super gay guy on a movie and make fun of them.
Mm-hmm.
You do that right now, that movie ain't going nowhere.
Right.
You know, and it is, I don't know, in part is good, but sometimes I'm also thinking that we are getting way too sensitive. You know, and some kids are growing up with a false idea of what real life is. And then real life come and bam, hit them in the face, and they're in depression, and they're in this and this, because like we cocoon them. You know, like they're not ready.
Right.
They go out there and somebody called them a name, and they're like, they don't know what to do.
Right.
You know, like, oh, everybody in my school are a bully. There are bullies. It's a thing. It exists. It's horrible. Everyday kids kill themselves because bullies. But not every mean kid is a bully. You know?
Right.
You know, I believe that for you to be, you could be a bully without knowing you're being a bully, but most of the bullies are bullies because they're mean.
Right.
And they enjoy being the bully.
Right.
But sometimes people could be mean by accident. People could be mean joking, and it's just interpretations. You know, like I grew up we work in the kitchen. So like, if you don't have a tough kid in the kitchen, it is tough. You know, I have friends that they can't believe, like, when we get together, I get together with friends that we grow up together, and you go to the barber shop and everybody's like burning each other, you know, like back and forth with jokes. Everybody always get like so amazed of how fast my comebacks come. I was like, dude, I got 22 years of experience, non stopping every day, every minute in a kitchen. If you're not the guy with the joke, you are the joke.
Absolutely.
So you have to have comeback always right there, and it has to be meaner of the one that you just got.
Yes.
So they don't think of, they need to think about it to trying to burn you because they know you're gonna burn them way harder back. And because you and me make couple jokes sometimes that then we go like, did we just say that?
Well, you remember my running joke in the kitchen, tickle butt.
Yeah.
Coquizo culo. I learned how to say that. Christian taught me how to say that in Spanish. And then I went up to him and started doing it. And then Mikey heard us saying that. So then he started saying, Coquizo culio. And it's like, no, it's just culo. Oh, man.
And it is, I don't know. I think people should just chill out a little bit, enjoy. If you notice that when somebody's out of place, it's out of place.
Right.
And when somebody's joking, he's joking.
Right.
But you have to have a thin skin. You need to be strong because what is out there is not easy. You need to be ready. We as parents, now that I'm a parent and I teach my daughter what money means. I teach my daughter what sacrifice mean. I spoil her because I will lie if I say I don't. And her mom, part of the family, they believe I'm a super spoiler. Oh, you're always spoiling it. And maybe I am, but I teach her the value of everything. And she get a lot, but she don't get everything.
But you talk to her like a person.
Yeah, I talk to her like a person. Sometimes I know stuff are gonna happen and I let it happen so she learn. A couple days ago, she asked me to bring these toys to her summer camp, and I knew half of these toys are not coming back. And I told her, Ella, you shouldn't bring them. Daddy, I want to bring them. And I knew it was going to happen. It's not because kids are mean and they're going to steal it. It's because it's just what happened with kids.
They're kids.
Oh, I like this. I'm taking it home, or I lose it, or whatever. It is what it is. So I got there, and sometimes you forget that they're kids, and you're like, see, Ella, I told you so. And then, a minute into it, I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. And a couple days later, I bought her this other toy. She asked me to bring it. For a week, I told her no. Yesterday, she asked me again, and I knew it was a cheap toy. It was, remember those wrinkle things that you're like
a slinky?
Yeah, one of those. It cost nothing, like $3. It doesn't really matter. I could buy her one anytime. But I also wanted to know the value of the toy and that to break something is not okay and
right.
Yeah. So at the end, I was like, you know what, take it. And I knew it. Those things are meant to be used a couple times and they'll either tangle or break or whatever.
The plastic ones break and the metal ones get stuck.
Yeah. So I go to pick her up yesterday. Yeah, it was super, super stretched that it didn't go back again and tangle in one corner and the other corner was broken. And she looked at me like crap, you knew it. And and I was like, you know what, Ella, now you understand, right? It wasn't that Daddy didn't want you to bring it. It's that I want you to be able to enjoy your toys. So if you let other kids destroy your toys, then you won't have no toys.
Right.
And and it is hard. For us to communicate, I got her an iPhone because I stopped using iPhone in iPhone 5. iPhone 5 was so bad that I was so pissed with iPhone that I never got my iPhone again.
Okay.
And I started using Samsung, and I love it. But they're so hard to use. So last year, I needed to have a phone to communicate with my daughter when she's at her mom's house. So I got her an iPhone, and I got myself an iPhone because it's so easy. FaceTime, boom, done.
Oh yeah.
And I could track her phone. It's family connected to my phone, so I could see anything that she do. She can download nothing without me authorize, and if she spent 10 hours in the phone, I will get a message saying your daughter is being 10 hours in the
phone. Too much time.
Yeah. And so I like that, but still a freaking iPhone. It's $1,000 phone.
Right.
And sometimes she get mad with me because I won't let her bring it everywhere. And I was like, it's not a toy. It's a phone. And you use it on the weekends when you go to Mama so you could call me. Sorry, that's just bottom line what it is.
Right. If you have it all the time, there's more chances for something to go wrong.
Yeah. and you know, like they need to learn that stuff, and some parents won't take the time to teach them that stuff. You know, like you
Especially these days, I feel like a lot more parents are a lot more dismissive of their kids. Like it's almost like they can't be bothered
oh,
to deal with them.
all these parents want their kids to raise themselves. I'm not gonna be doing everything for you. That's your responsibility. It's an 8-year-old kid. It is his responsibility, but your responsibility as a parent is to guide him and teach him how to get there.
Right.
You cannot expect that an 8-year-old kid's gonna figure it out himself.
Hell no.
You know, you were 8-year-old kids and you were eating your own boogers. You know, it's like it is what it is.
Burning down dumpsters.
Yeah. You know,
It was an accident.
throwing eggs to the stage of the guy that is running for mayor for your town.
Oh.
You know, like there's a lot of shit that I did as a kid, and I was like, damn.
Right? Oh, man. It's definitely unfortunate how many parents don't take the time to be a parent.
And it's so stupid because it's like I read something on the internet and Facebook probably like a year ago. It wasn't a couple months, like a year ago. That it was really cool that say like one day kids will understand that they were watching their parents grow up while they were growing up. You know, like
Right.
you're watching your kid grow up, but your kid is watching you grow up.
Because you're still learning the
Yeah.
whole time you're teaching them
True,
stuff.
like I learned so much out of my daughter. So much.
Same.
And I realized stuff too. I was like, oh, that's why. Now I understand it. You know, but like I was blessed that my parents teach me since I was a kid value of stuff. Like if I wanted sneakers, my mom will give me $40. She won't give me $120 Nike. I'll buy you camo McGregor's for $40. Oh, I don't want those. I want the Nikes. Well, here's your $40. Figure it out. So I used to be like a bagger in a supermarket on the weekends. Get just tips from people. Carry the groceries to the car. They will give me a quarter here, a quarter there, da. Dude, by the end of the weekend, I will have like $70, $80.
Oh, that ain't bad.
A freaking 12-year-old, 13, 14-year-old kid with $80 every weekend. That's like $200, $400 almost a month.
Almost, yeah.
You're a fucking narco. You know, you're Pablo Escobar. You know, you're the only kid walking around with $360 in the pocket. And I will get the $40 from my mom, and then I will put 80 from me and go and get me my Nikes. But I also learned the value of I will get the $90 Nikes. They're still good Nikes. I am paying the $150 one because with $150 I could get 2 of the 80s. So make me really smart and appreciate how much money meant.
Sure.
You know, but if you handle everything to your kids, they don't learn that.
Right.
And then they grow up what I call this entitlement generation. You know, like when I was in college, working as the chef for the college, all these kids going to college, I feel so bad. Like, oh man, I'm going to school here for like cybersecurity. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna make 3 figures. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna have a Lambo. So no, you're not. It'll take you like 20 years to get the real job, the real money. You have to work your way up. You know, there might be a lucky one here and a lucky there that are smart enough that yes, they're gonna hit that life right away. But the rest, they have to work themselves up. You know, like gonna have a nice wake up call when you get out of here, bro. It is fun. I have a kid that used to be in the football team. He used to call me Pop. I gave him a job as a student job. He would come the days of the trucks because he was a football player. He used to put the groceries away with me. But he would ask me like so many life questions. I would enjoy my time with him. His name is Eric Wall. And I appreciate him. Like I always, every time he do something awesome, I was like, hey, kiddo, great job in this. And he's like, thank you, Pop. And, you know, like, keep a good relationship. But, like, he was a great kid. Like he was a kid that was raised the right way, ask the right questions. Like he would come and ask, like, "Hey, what do you think? I want to go out with this girl." Should I ask her? I was like, "Dude, like, life is so easy. 50-50." He's like, "What do you mean? 50-50, bro. You like a girl? Ask her out. She either say yes or she say no. She say no, you don't waste your time thinking about her anymore. You move to the next one. But if she say yes, you win. When you learn that in life, life becomes so much easier.
Right.
You like the job for Cheesecake Factory. I gamble it. He either gonna give me the money or he's not gonna give me the money. But I'm not gonna get the job for money that I don't want and be miserable.
Right.
No, I'm gonna gamble it.
Always got to be worth your time.
Yes.
Whatever you do.
Whatever you do. And you should always, you know how many times in my process of becoming a chef, I got asked, you know how to do this? And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I run to figure out how to do it because I say I know how to do it. But I get raises, I get jobs that way. But I make sure that I learn it.
Right.
I'm not going to say I know how to do something and then be like, hey, surprise, I don't.
Sorry, I was kidding.
You know, and this generation right now, they have everything on the palm of the hand. The freaking YouTube, man.
Dude, yeah.
Everything is there. You want to be a chef, go to YouTube.
And
Teach you how to cook
YouTube,
everything.
There's something.
You know, like, you will learn how to do everything. It's right there, right in front of you. You don't have to pay for it. It's right there for free.
A lot of people make fun of that stuff now. So, oh, you're just going to go watch a video? It's like, yeah. Some people learn better by watching things. That's a legitimate form of learning.
Well, and there's two different experiences. You know, YouTube is going to show you, but it's not going to answer your question.
Right.
So I'm not saying like, yeah, don't pay this guy to teach you something and just learn it there. Go to YouTube, figure out how to do it. And if you really, really are interested in getting to the next level and doing that, then find somebody to teach you. But at least you have a big knowledge. Like,
right.
You remember Ricky, my cousin, that I hired him?
Oh, yeah.
My aunt called me one day. Hey, Ricky, want to be a chef? I was like, oh, really? Kid is a pilot. Kid is a CPA. Now he want to be a chef? Okay. And they were about to ship him to the school in New York for culinary school. It's $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
To go to that school. They have the funds. They're blessed. They're a good family, wealthy family. And, you know, they were going to do it. But I told my aunt, like, hey, Titi, like, Titi mean aunt. Titi, hold on. Send him here. She said, what do you mean? Send him to my house. I'm going to give him a job. I'm going to make him work in my restaurant. He could last here a couple months and he actually think he could do it and he love it. Then send him to school. But don't send him to school because I guarantee you that he probably don't want to do this.
And then I remember one day asking you, where's Ricky been? Oh, he went back to Puerto Rico. And I was like, oh, shit.
Like right now, he owned 2 Airbnbs.
Really?
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
I always like that dude. We talked all the time.
Oh, he's awesome. Like he's a really awesome entrepreneur guy. Like
he's a musician also.
Yeah. He's a musician. He taught himself how to play guitar. He got that weird thing that I have. Like he likes something, he go for it. You don't have to eventually become an expert on it. You know, he got that thing that maybe he want to be a chef. So he tried it, and then he figured out, you know what, it ain't worth it. It's too much. And then, but at least he tried it.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that about people. I respect I respect everybody that is willing to try stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, like you need to give yourself an opportunity. You never know. You know, like the difference between somebody that is good at something and somebody that is not good at something is that this person put the time on it. You know, like look at Michael Jordan. Supposedly he used to suck in high school. He wasn't that good.
Right.
You know, he didn't make the team into like either junior or sophomore year in high school, but he practicing with our C.S. Thomas and Denny Rodman beating the crap out of him from the bad boys. Maybe Jordan that we know now wouldn't be that Jordan because he got tired of losing to Detroit. So he worked hard and he became who he is, so
When
he
put
could
on that
destroy
fucking
them.
weight and started working out.
Yeah,
I remember watching that in The Last Dance.
it's I'm blessed I saw that in real life.
Oh yeah, I suppose, man.
You know, I'm blessed that you don't know my age. You never know, but you know that I go to places and people will ask me my age, and I was like, "How old do you think I am?" And it's like, "I don't know, 28." I was like, "Yeah, I'm 28." You're 31? Yeah, I'm 31. You're 27? Yeah, I'm 27. Where do you think I am? Guess what age I am, and comment down there and say how old I am. But it's I'm glad I see so many things, and maybe people will figure out my age now. But dude, I see music being recorded in tapes, in CDs, in pen drive, in the cloud. You know, it's like fuck. You know, it's crazy. I remember my first computer class. It lasted a semester. Whole semester working in the same project. At the end of the semester, my name was like going side to side on the screen. That was my first computer class. Now, my daughter knew how to use a tablet with nobody teaching her how. You know, she got a tablet when she was a kid and she knew how to use it. I was like, the fuck?
There's another thing is like, so if you ask, like, let's say you ask you, show me how you would motion a phone call. Like someone, hey, I'll call you later. Like, I'll call you later.
Yeah.
Ask a young kid, hey, I'll call you later. And they'll put the phone
yeah.
into their hand like that. Like just subtle little differences.
It took me a little time to adapt, and dude, I love Siri. Talk to that girl every day. She helped me text, she helped me call, she helped me do everything.
So my Samsung phone has the Bixby thing or whatever, and I just turned all that shit off the day I got it. I was like, I don't need this shit. If I'm gonna use voice activated stuff, I'll just go into Google and fucking.
You know what is crazy? I know my own phone number. Still remember my phone number from Puerto Rico, my house phone number. I remember Jennifer, my first wife, phone number from her house.
Oh, jeez.
But I don't even know my daughter's phone number. I know it's in my phone. You know, like we don't pay attention to that stuff anymore. And do you know the phone numbers are done in that amount of numbers because it works in your brain for you to remember those numbers? Like if you take a number out or you add a number more, it's super impossible to remember.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because we've probably been conditioned. They probably conditioned us, into it's always area code and 7 numbers.
Yeah.
Or if you have to put the 1 in there, sometimes you might have 1 area code, 7 numbers.
Is South Dakota always have the same area code?
605, I think, is the only area code in South Dakota.
That is crazy. Puerto Rico have like 3.
Fuck, I think California has several too. You know what I mean? Lots of states have multiple.
But you know how many times Puerto Rico fit in South Dakota?
They're very densely populated, huh?
4
That's a
million,
big difference.
There's 4 million people in Puerto Rico.
It's not even 1 million people in South Dakota.
And Puerto Rico is 100 by 35. That's about it. If I go from Madison to Sioux Falls 3 times back and forward, I cross the whole island around.
Jesus.
But we got like 3 different area codes, like it's crazy. It used to be 787. A lot of crazy things, like I always amaze me how tiny we are, but how much crazy important people have come out of there. You have like Ricky Martin, J-Lo, Mark Anthony, Bad Bunny, Daddy Yankee. Like so many people like they come out of that tiny little island. Like the Supreme Court leader, She's a lady. She's Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah. And isn't that God, that baseball player that they say he might wind up being the best ever. Fernando Tatis Jr. or something. Is that dude from Puerto Rico?
No, he's Dominican.
Oh, but God, Puerto Rican people might want to stab me for saying that then.
Nah, Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, like, we hate each other when we play against each other, but we love each other. We're brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, but like you got Javi Baez, El Mago from Chicago. The main guy from Chicago is Puerto Rican. The main guy from St. Louis, Puerto Rican. The main guy from Texas, Puerto Rican. You know, like in boxing, the same stuff. You know, like
one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Cedric Ceballos.
Cedric Ceballos.
I tweeted him on Twitter, and he talked to me.
Do you know who else is half Puerto Rican and killed the Lakers last week?
Devin Booker. That dude's crazy, man. Damn. That was a hard series to watch. Like, not to make any excuses, but I mean, like, obviously Phoenix was a really good fucking team. But I mean, it would have been really awesome if I could have seen that series with a fully healthy Lakers team. You know what I mean? That would have been awesome.
Lakers were supposed to win the championship.
That would have been crazy.
Bottom line. But, you know, it's hard. And, you know, like, I'm a LeBron fan. I don't think there's a bigger LeBron fan out there. But I'm a real fan. I'm not a fanatic.
Sure.
You know, I understand the guy is getting old, you know. Fucking guys, you know, been doing this for 18 years, you know. 36-year-old guy, and he's full throat, you know. And he have never also been the best in everything. He's just really good at everything.
Right.
But the best thing that he's good at it is taking care of himself.
I think he's the smartest basketball player ever.
And him and Rondo. They said that him and Rondo are like...
Rondo's one of my favorite players ever.
But you have a guy that knows how to take care of himself and make his life...
Invest $1 million a year on your body? That's some serious shit, dude.
But when you're making... $300 a year,
right?
That million doesn't sound like that much,
right? Because that's
your investment.
That you're gonna keep making that $300.
You know, like it's just and you know, like I hate when people talk about him and say all this crap about him. First of all, he have always say that he wore number 23 because Jordan. He paid respect and dues to Jordan,
right?
He have never talked shit about Jordan. He opened a school in Akron, Ohio, out of his pocket.
We bought that book actually too. His book that he put out.
He put 800 kids on college out of his own money. Dude, talking about millions and millions of dollars.
I feel like I even saw it today, like Chris Broussard I think was talking about it. He was saying LeBron might be the most hated player ever because all the Jordan fans think that they just have to hate him. It's like, oh, you have to hate this guy that might possibly give this guy.
You want to know something? I believe Jordan, probably is the best player in the world ever to play basketball. He wasn't my favorite. I enjoy watching him play. He was great. But I always respected Allen Iverson more. Talking about a 6-foot guy that is 170 pounds.
Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. That was a beast. Changed the whole culture of basketball.
Bubba Chat.
You know, what we know about basketball today, the flair, the flow, the swag, all that is Allen Iverson. Without Allen Iverson, the NBA wouldn't be where it is right now.
Oh, they used to have to wear suits and shit. Like, there was a dress code.
He got the hood in the NBA, and you know, and he make it bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
And you got guys like, I don't know, and also the NBA closed doors for European people to come. So Jordan never played against the best. He played against the best people in the United States, There was a guy from Brazil. FIFA.
Yeah.
So the Basketball Federation of the world is called FIBA.
Right.
So the best FIBA basketball player ever, and not the best, it's just the one that scored the most. Because a lot of people think that because you score the most, you're the best. And not really. But the guy that scored the most points ever in FIBA, his name is Oscar Smith from Brazil. His average scoring in every league that he played, including World Cups and Olympics, was around 33 points a game. When he played the Dream Team, he scored like 30-something points. Was the best. Can't stop him. But back then, the NBA was paying shit.
Oh.
So for this guy to come to the NBA, he got to come as a rookie contract and make $80,000 a year. The guy is making millions in Europe. Why? There was a Puerto Rican kid. His name was Eddie Casiano. He was, I believe, Eddie was like 17 years old when he played against the original Dream Team in Barcelona '92 Olympic Games.
Oh.
Kid scored like 19 points against the Dream Team. A kid.
That's pretty wild.
When he was in high school, he made a mistake and he signed this professional league basketball that lasts 1 year, but he became a professional. So he lost his scholarship with UNB because he was a professional. So he started playing in Europe, in Argentina, in Puerto Rico. He started playing different leagues. Guy was making maybe around $1.2 million during a year in different leagues. Orlando want to try him out. They offer him a minimum contract, a rookie contract. It's $80,000. Like $80,000 for like eight and a half months. When I make $1.5 million in a summer, like why? Of course not.
Pretty ridiculous.
But Scottie Pippen didn't used to make shit.
Oh yeah, because he signed that long-term deal or whatever initially, that 7-year deal, and he lost a bunch of money.
Michael Jordan didn't make money until his last 4 years. He made 28 to 30 something his last years. Before that, his contracts were like 6, 5, 3. That's what a rookie make now. Zion signed in for like 12. His first contract.
Yeah, they gave him some good money.
And and then you got kids like LaMelo, $100 million from Adidas.
He was exciting.
He's good.
I thought his dad was just talking shit, but he might be the best brother.
Oh, he is. Like, he is good. Like, I love watching him play. Kid is the rookie of the year.
Oh yeah, his shot's wet as fuck.
Yeah, but he's good. Like, the kid is like averaging like 14, 7, 7.
He was playing pretty fucking good, and then he hurt his wrist and shit, and there wasn't really much he could do. He didn't have enough time to come back. And Gordon Hayward was hurt. Otherwise, Charlotte could have made a little bit deeper of a run, I think.
Yeah, they end up 9, I think. They almost made it.
Yeah, they got into the play-in tournament.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I like him. I watch him play. I enjoy him playing.
I really like Trae Young right now. He's kind of like one of my favorite guys to watch.
There's this YouTuber guy from Puerto Rico. He called him Three Hair John.
They make fun of his hair, and that's why I like him so much. Is because if he wears his hair like that, that means he just doesn't give a fuck.
His fucking eyes.
Yeah.
You know who remind me? I don't know if you ever saw this guy play. Do you know who John Stark is?
John Stark? The name sounds familiar.
He used to be the shooting guard from the New York Knicks when Patrick Ewing was there.
Okay.
He was number 3 of the New York Knicks. He remembered me. He like really cocky fucking New York badass kid. Like pretty fucking. I think he's good, but I think Luka is special.
Luka's pretty crazy. I really like Luka. A lot. Like,
you know what's crazy about Luka? He's so slow that he's too fast.
He's got the.
He plays his own tempo. He's so slow that people can't guard him.
He's so smart at such a young age, and that could
But-
be scary.
But people don't understand that Luka was the MVP in the Spain league.
At like 17 or
I
something.
think 16 years old.
Because he'd been playing Europe ball since he was like 14.
Yeah. When he was 16, he was the MVP of the league. The Spain league is the number 2 league in the world. And a kid that was 16 years old was the MVP of that league when he was 16. And that's where Marc Gasol, Paul Gasol, and all these people come from.
That's crazy to me. There's a lot of really good people who have come from Spain. Well, I know he's not from Spain, but those leagues. You know what I mean?
But
Even like Leandro Barbosa played over there, right? But
Yeah.
he's from Brazil.
Brazil. That generation, Leandro Barbosa, Nene Hilario,
Hey.
they were pretty good. But you know, that same generation in Argentina, that was the Ginobili.
Oh man,
Manu.
he was ridiculous.
Man, we used to hate them. They will always knock Puerto Rico out. Argentina.
Oh, really?
They were good. They were way too good. That whole team, when Manu was there, the whole team make it to the NBA. Because Manu Ginobili was the MVP, slam dunk contest winner in the Italy league
Okay.
before he ever made it to the NBA. Because he actually came to the NBA, he was already old.
Oh yeah, because he was like already almost 30 or
Yeah.
something like that.
But because he was making a shitload of money in Europe. So it wasn't until the game changed and they start paying all these people money that he actually came.
Right.
Same thing with Ricky Rubio. The Minnesota Timberwolves draft Ricky Rubio a shitload of years ago.
Oh yeah,
But he never came to play because he was making more money in Spain.
I remember that.
But Ricky Rubio, I saw Ricky Rubio when he was like 14, 15-year-old, freaking crossover in the dream team and shit.
Man, before the injuries, he was like primed to be one of those next guys.
Yeah, he was the original Luka. He
That's a
could
good
shoot,
comparison.
he could pass. He was a skinny version of the original Luka. Luka is like whatever Ricky Rubio ever dreamed about.
And Jason Tatum's baby Kobe.
Jason Tatum is scary how good he's gonna get.
For real. I was watching obviously I hate the fucking Celtics, but as a basketball fan, watching Jason Tatum is ridiculous.
I never liked
That
it.
mid-range game, just every time he turns around and
I
posts that ball up.
never liked the Celtics. But if I play with you 2K, I will destroy you with Tatum.
I played a game on 2K recently where I was my team or whatever, but I had Klay Thompson on there and my player, and with Klay Thompson I scored 95 points.
My record, I think my record is like 120 something
It's ridiculous.
with my own self.
Dude, those threes, like once you get them dialed in with any certain guy, like you're good. I spend a lot of time on playing defense. Really,
What do you
really
play?
hard.
2K?
2K21.
Yeah, but what console?
I got Xbox.
Damn. Okay. PlayStation people and Xbox people cannot play, right?
Some games are cross-platform. I don't believe that one is, but I do believe, if I understood right, that they were gonna possibly make it cross-platform on the new gen console.
They should. Dude, because I love 2K.
2K
It's the only game that I play.
I play a shit ton of the My Team, the card mode or whatever. I have some of the coolest cards ever.
I just play my career so I could buff my guy, so I could go to the wreck.
I'm on the 76ers right now.
I'm about to hit back-to-back championship with the Houston Rockets.
Oh, nice. I'm still in my first season. I was on the Hawks, and then nobody would ever pass me the ball, even though every time I would play, I would get us ahead, and then the coach would sub me out. I would come back in, and we were losing, and it's like, why not just leave me in the fucking game? And then I would be like calling for the ball. I'm like wide open. I'm shooting 80% from three, and they call for pass, ignored. It's like, fuck this, I'm out. And I demanded a trade, and it asked me for like, I was only able to pick from teams that had a certain percentage of interest in me. And I was like, out of all these guys, I should go play with Ben Simmons. and Joel Embiid. Because imagine if you added like a Klay Thompson style player. That's my kind of player. I'm a slashing shooting guard that plays defense. But like if you added Klay Thompson in his prime to that Ben Simmons team,
I'm a point guard, shot creator, facilitator.
Oh, nice.
Dude, I'm a beast.
It's a fun game.
But you know what I hate? I hate playing with my friends. I get nervous. And I play bad. Like if we're playing together. If I'm playing against them, I will kill them. You know, if I play against you, I will destroy you. But if we play in the same team, I get too nervous. I don't know when to shoot. I don't know when to pass it to you because I want to pass it to you so you can score. And I just make stupid plays. And when I play with like 2-3 friends, oh my God, I get horrible.
Right.
And then if I go and play with other people that I don't know, then I'm awesome again. It's just that nervousness, like trying to please everybody kind of mentality.
Right.
Sucks.
All right, we're at 9:30, so probably better wrap this one up. This might be the longest episode I've ever done, but that's all right. It was so organic, so I like it. But,
yeah, it was pretty good, and you know, like we could get together whenever
do another episode, yeah.
Just talk and chill. We could make our podcast about chill. It doesn't have to be about anything.
Is there anything else that you wanted to plug, or anything else you wanted to mention that you?
Well, if you got kids. Go to Ella Ray _TV. ELARA _TV. Check out my daughter Huck YouTube channel, pretty cool for kids. If you're not a kid, stay away from it. But about to do a whole bunch of new episodes from Puerto Rico. She want me to make some merch, so making some contacts. I'm gonna make merch.
Cool.
I'm probably just gonna give it away. We don't have people that actually gonna buy it for now, but like hopefully one day we will. You know, you never know. Maybe she's the next little girl from Target that is
right. That'd be cool, man.
So that Ryan little kid, right?
So Ryan, yep, that's that little kid, yep.
You got a like a Nintendo Switch game and everything.
Oh yeah, they do. I really like
Ryan's
Kids
Cars.
City. Have you seen that kids channel, Kids City? That one's fun.
So my daughter watched so many channels of all these people that they're all millionaires.
Right.
All of them. I just literally like most of the people that follow her are family members. It's a cool way for my family to keep in touch with her curiosity. You know, like
sure.
Everybody's so far away. You know, Puerto Rico, New York, and Texas. And everybody's so spread, and we just by ourselves here, and they see her play, they see her make silly things and singing and whatever, and they could enjoy that. That's the magic of it.
Absolutely,
I like it.
It's a good thing, you know.
Yeah,
I like that kind of stuff too. You know, kids bring joy, even though they bring stress sometimes. But you got to deal with both.
Well, besides that, man, thank you for having me here. And, you know, like...
It's good to see you. It's nice to catch up.
Yeah.
So, my favorite thing about this whole thing is that it gives me an excuse to catch up with people that I haven't talked to in a while.
And it's pretty awesome, man. Like, I got to tell you something. Like, the coolest thing that I think you have, besides you, like, if you close your eyes, not you, because you won't get this, but anybody that see your podcast or listen to your podcast, if you close your eyes and you don't know, if they don't know you, I don't know, you got the legit voice for it. Like your fucking voice is like a podcast voice. Like I listen to you, it's like that's like a Seth Rogen, that's like a legit fucking voice.
I think it's also helpful that I've been on stage for a number of years.
Yeah, that you're not afraid. Like same thing with me. Like, are you?
So for instance, I did a solo show one time where I played acoustic for a suicide awareness benefit show, and it was the most terrified I've ever been because I always have a band with me to back me up. So like when I'm up there by myself, it's like I'm naked.
I've been on the line of fire for so long. I'm not afraid of people. Like I actually enjoy to be in command and be the one talking and be the one in front. And it's like when I was doing my master's degree, That was my thing. You guys do the project. I would talk about it in class. Just make sure you give it to me 2 days before class, so I could learn everything and go and do the speech. And that was my work.
That's pretty awesome.
Good hustle there. I didn't have to do nothing besides talk, and I wasn't afraid of it. So.
Right. Once I get going, you know what I mean. But that initial, I think I definitely have the most pins and needles.
Yeah, the beginning is always, and it never go away. Actually, for what I hear, I'm not a fucking musician or nothing like that, but I always hear that it's always stay on you, and the day that you lose it, then you suck.
Right.
Because when you feel that nervous, it's because you care of what you're doing, and you worry that it's okay, that it's good. You're not afraid of failing. You're just like, you don't want to do something bad for the people.
I don't go on stage to embarrass myself. I go up there to do a good job.
To do a good job and make people have fun. That's what it is. Same thing for me when I cook. I just want people to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing, it's about it. Let's do it one more time one day, and hey, we could bring food.
Yeah. Hey, next, I eventually want to do some food type stuff. I gotta get the camera angle figured out, because I don't want to, like, for instance, we got the one camera angle on this type of thing. We wouldn't be able to showcase the food correctly. Like, for the people that would be watching it, we'd have to show them the up closes. You know what I mean? So
maybe in the future, when everything get better out there, you could like vlog. Some of your episodes could be vlogging
that'd be cool.
When the camera is moving, and I think this is becoming the new reality, the new TV. Like I don't watch TV. I watch games and stuff like that, and I watched a couple series and movies, but like for the past 3 years, I don't have like cable or nothing. Like I don't sit down and watch TV. I just go online and watch what I want. I watch what I want to watch when I want to watch. And actually, I'm really upset with Netflix lately. They have this new format that they put like 3 episodes, make you wait, put 3 episodes.
Oh yeah,
that's bullshit. The only reason I got Netflix is because I could bench watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to wait. I could do that on normal TV that I don't pay. Yeah, I was so mad about that.
No, I feel that was pretty annoying when all the services started doing that. That being said, I've been watching the shit out of every single Marvel series on Disney Plus. Loki just came out yesterday or whatever, and I haven't got a chance to watch that, so I'm gonna watch that tomorrow.
I think there's like a Puerto Rican superhero that is coming out. I don't know.
No. You're talking about Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
So you watch Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
You watch everything? So Miguel, his name's Duena. He supposedly got the role, but it was not been announced yet. But he was with the guy who's directing it the other day, and apparently that dude really loves him as the role of Jamie Reyes. So.
And because the guy that is going to direct this is a Puerto Rican guy too, right? I think he's going to direct Transformers 2. The new Transformer is going to be directed with a Puerto Rican. Is going to be the director.
That would sound right. I forget the director's name.
I know that the director of the new Transformers movie is a Puerto Rican guy, and he's also going to do a superhero movie.
Okay. I wanted to say it was that Zack Snyder dude who did the Justice League movie that was going to do the Blue Beetle, but I could be completely wrong.
What do you think about that movie?
I actually don't watch DC movies ever.
Dude, but like
I like Green Lantern. He's my favorite hero.
I watched the original Justice League movie, and I watched the new Justice League movie.
The 4-hour cut?
It's the same shit. It's the same movie. Just longer, but it's still the same movie.
There's just like some added stuff, but it's basically the same story.
It's almost like just get the same plate and put sauce on it and give it to me.
I guess a lot of people really wanted to see the full edit just because of how much stuff was allegedly cut out of the movie.
Yeah, but I just wanted to see a whole new movie. Like, because I don't know. I don't really know. I was like, kind of like, because everybody was like, oh my God, now it's awesome. Yeah, that was okay, but it's fucking long as fuck. 4 hours.
I don't have 4 hours to sit in one spot and watch a movie. I don't have that kind of attention span.
I don't think I finished it, and I tried for like 5 times. I always fall asleep. It's too long, and I already watched 80% of it, so it was hard to force me to finish it. I was like, I can't. I already seen this. So, nah.
Well, without further ado, America, thank you for joining us for this wonderful, wonderful episode that we did. Got to thank my producer, Devin Saxon, for doing an awesome job hosting this, as always. And thank you, Chef Edgar, for coming on.
Thank you, Bob.
We'll see you again soon. See you guys.